Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome to another installment of the Path of Rexxar. Hope we're all doing good today. Hope we're all having a fantastic start to the week. I had a great start to the week. Let me know if I should be coming in fine. I haven't changed any audio settings, but you know what? Sometimes I have my mic on like a little stand here. It's not a big stand, but I did sort of kind of drop it the other day, and I'm paranoid that my mic broke. I don't think it did, but how's everyone doing? Lizzie Babs, Sonic, to all the lurkers. Got a lot to cover. Rexxanna is indeed level 59, just one away from level 60. Nominally, I would consider the challenge over at that point, but I have in the past spoken about different ways that I'd like the challenge to end. There's a number of options out there. Currently, just as a little recap, Rexxanna had a big weekend. I think last time we touched base with the Rexxanna, she was level 56, I want to say. And I've done a little bit of leveling. You know what? Honestly, most of the leveling I did, I really wanted to do all of the Hateforge Quarry quests. If you remember, I did that dungeon guide, so I wanted to do each and every Hateforge Quarry quest. Now, the thing is, I had rested experience for all of that, and man, when you start doing dungeons that are giving decent experience points with the rested bonus, you just fly up the levels. So there I was, level, I want to say 57, maybe 58. I might have been scraping 58. And to anyone who's done, who's played Classic, Vanilla, or on Turtle, you can start your Molten Core attunement. So when I was 56 or 57, I'm like, you know what? Does anyone want to do Black Rock Depths? I would love to get my Molten Core Attunement done. It's a level 55 quest. I got that done. I dinged 57 or maybe 58 at that point. And this weekend, I was able to go into a Molten Core way, way under-leveled. But those runs, they've been going on for a year and a half at this point. They're mostly just to get new players some gear, get them started with raiding, that kind of thing. And for the more experienced players, help people that are looking for Thunder Fury, maybe a couple chase items they've been looking after, or just to help, you know, their raid crew in general. So, with that being said, I did want to highlight, I did get a couple things I'd like to show off. I got, of course, the Toma Tranquilizing Shot. This does bring up an interesting factor. I've played Rexxanna without any ranged weapons. Throwing weapons are not considered ranged weapons for hunter abilities. Tranquilizing Shot, which, if you know anything about hunters in the raid environment, you are expected to have Tranquilizing Shot and use it in rotation. I would need to equip a ranged weapon in order to do this. Doesn't matter anyway. I can't do it till level 60, but something to think about. I also picked up Sabatons of the Flamewalker. They're male. They had a bunch of intellect and some attack power on them, so I'm like, yum, yum, yum. Don't make it a Nexus Crystal. Maybe I could use them. And I picked up 3 pieces of Tier 1 for Hunter. I picked up... Oh boy, these have a lot of text. Oh, geez, how much text do they have? Dang. Giant Stalker's Gloves, which I believe, when I'm able to equip them, will pretty much be about where I... Because I have Voon's Vice Grips. If you know where those come from, you know what else I'm going to be telling you shortly. But they have hit, so that's really important for hunters, especially early raiding hunters. I got the chest piece. 26 agility, that's great. It has intellect as well, which is something that I'm realizing is a general struggle for survival hunters, so that's great. And the belt, again, same kind of situation with the stats there. It does have a crit on it, that's cool. Anyway, so that was the weekend, right? Just I got into a Molten Core. However, I also said, hey, you know what? I can, at level 55, you can do what's called Warlord's Command, which is the beginning of the Onyxia Attunement. And so I wanted, if you've done Horde Onyxia Attunement, it's a super long quest, and I'm like, if I can space this out, that's fine, right? So I started it. You have to kill... you have to kill 3 bosses in lower Black Rock Spire. And then after you're done that, you talk to Atrig in Orgrimmar. And then you talk to Thrall. And Thrall tells you to go talk to the man himself, Rexxar. Now, I have considered different ways of ending the run. But I got to admit, the one that I thought about this weekend that I thought would be the most appealing would be to end the run by leveling to 60 by turning in a quest to Rexxar, you know? Because, like, the RP of Rexxanna is that she actually has, she had a name. She was dishonored. She's been working through all the stuff she's been trying to regain her honor by emulating Rexxar, the champion of the Horde. And I thought it would be, perfect for her to sort of, quote-unquote, end her journey. Because I talked about maybe getting the Tier 0 helm to look like Rexxar. But the more I thought about it, that's just an aesthetic thing, you know? And I don't think Rexxar would be the type to care about looks that much, you know? Especially someone who is a half orc, half ogre. You know, he's probably not a very vain individual, we'll say that much. So, I was like, hey, you know, maybe this would kind of put a nice bookend on things for the journey. So I think that's what I want to do. So what that does mean is that there are 2 points in which you need to turn into Rexxar, I believe, according to the Onyxia Attunement quest. I have, according to this, only 89% left of the level. Just leveling and doing stuff, or like just killing stuff in order to do the quest, I'm probably going to get most of the way there. So one thing you may not know about Turtle WoW, many people do, but you have this option. You can right-click your name and just turn off experience points if you'd want. So if I get close, or I'm going to purposely get close, right, and then turn off XP gain right before I turn in the quest so that I can ding when I turn into Rexxar to like signify the end of the struggle, the end of the journey. And just as a point of reference too, I still do not have a hearthstone. To this day, I'm still only using one-hand axes. I think I talked about this last week when I did a stream. I got Axe of the Deep Woods. Big deal. I got it for a steal of a deal, 20 gold. You know, I'm high 50s now, so getting that kind of gold is kind of not too crazy. I've had a Salt Shaker cooldown I've been using to help generate revenue. I've been doing dungeons. I've been doing quests. I'm making good amount of gold, I'd say, at this point. So that's fine, right? One other big deal. I have the Flight Blade throwing axe I got from that lower Blackrock Spire run. The reason this is a big deal, the previous axe I was using was like a level 35 white throwing axe. So this is pretty much the best Rexxanna is going to ever have until I break the rules or get a very hard to get Alterac Valley throwing axe that can actually appear in the auction house. I probably, if I see it on the auction house, I'll get it, but it drops off of Korak the Blood Rager if you've done Alterac Valley. Most people just vendor it or shard it because no one ever really wants it, generally. If you or someone you know has this item and has not equipped it, let me know. I will pay good gold for it because that is technically the best throwing axe weapon in the game. I think I can even show that off here. I was looking at the last ability that Misha needs, which would be Claw rank 8. So we might take a trip up the Winter Spring to go get this. I should be high enough level to get it, and Misha should be high enough level to learn it as well. The Shard Tooths have it in Winter Spring, as well as the Rock Shell Crawler. I believe these are in Tel'abim, the island. And there's also the Winter Spring Screecher, and that's also in Winter Spring, so like, you know. Anyway, so that's where I'm at with those abilities, but I was looking at this. So if you go to database, items, weapons, throne, organized by item level, this is where we're at right here. There is this one that gives strength, not as useful for me. Assassin's Throwing Axe, this is like the one. Everything above it is either a rock, which, okay, that's from Kara 40, or Farhad's Silent Nails, that's Exalted Ravenholt. They're good. They give you a crit, which is kind of nice, but that's Ravenholt, so I'd have to be a rogue, I believe, to do it, so I can't, it's not really on the table. Master's Throwing Daggers, these just have good damage, that's it. And like I said on this one, Korak the Blood Rager. Fun fact too, they are bind on equip. So there is a chance if you've done Alterac Valley and you get these, you can trade them if you don't equip them. So again, if anyone knows about this, like has one or knows someone who has one and hasn't equipped it, I've checked the auction house, there's none there. I would love to have this. I'll pay top coin within reason. So, anyway. Hello, Shagu. Hello, Dan. Oh, I see. Okay, that's right. Let's see. I wanted to touch on a couple other things. This is just a fun news item. I know some of the people that are tuning in right now, they're EU. If you're EU, you probably know someone who's French speaking, who plays Turtle WoW. Or if you're from New England, like myself, you might know someone who's Quebecois. If you're that person, I'd like to make this known. I'll pin the link to this. This is a forum post. Apparently the user Susup has made some custom patches available that you can apply to your game. I believe that's how it works. To do a translation of the game in French, en français, as they would say, I think. I think that's awesome. I love community made. I love community made anything. You guys know this about me, right? So I love this kind of stuff. Let me get these. So if you know someone from just general EU people who might know someone who speaks French, I'm probably gonna. I imagine Les Croquants probably already knows about it. I've raided with them before. They're really really cool people. Let me get this pinned up here. But yeah, I think that's awesome. Pin message and over in Twitch. And pin message. It is indeed, Dan. It is pretty awesome. Dan, I don't know if you were here when I was talking about my ideal way to end the challenge, which is to do a quest turn-in to Rexxar, which I think is the best. And if let's see, let's go here. I had one other thing I wanted to show. We'll turn off that for a second. This was Rexxanna's. This is Rexxanna walking into Molten Core this weekend. I was very nervous. I have never raided as a hunter. Pretty standard fare, honestly. I just recorded it for posterity's sake. There's the whole gang doing the little Sunday run. I wanted to point this out. It was right around the 21 meet. Everyone talks about hunters making mistakes. It's very easy to do. I want you to remember at this point, Rexxanna is level 58, and I believe Misha is level 56, okay? Keep that in mind. Let me just jump ahead to right to when it happens. So we're clearing our way to Gar. Okay. Now, we go attack these, there's the dog in the middle that we're about to fight. We kill the Fire Lord first. And then while we're killing the Fire Lord, I believe the raid leader said, "Hey, Vrograg, can you pull that?" So I went to run over. I still have decent range with my throwing weapon. So I went over. I told Misha to attack that while I pulled the dog. Misha ran around to the back of the dog, and because she was 56, she aggroed Gar and we wiped. What can I say? And of course, jump ahead a little bit. I also found out that since I'm a mana using melee person, there's a specific spot you're supposed to stand. You stand with other Ret Paladins or Enhancement Shamans. They have a special spot. I didn't know this. I just learned this. That's really cool. One thing I want to show you during the fight that I thought was quite funny. So I back off. You see how I'm backed off right now? Now I'm going to tell Misha to go into attack too, because of course I would, because that's still extra damage. Watch where Misha goes. Misha just goes through Rag and just bathes in lava. She's not taking lava damage, but she's in there. There's the hammer. First kill for Rexxanna. Another thing I wanted to show off. This was me after I did the Warlord's command. This is me walking up to Rexxar to say, "Hey, what's up?" And that brings us to the point where we're at right now, where I need to get eyeballs for Miranda the Hag out in Western Plagueland. And also, who doesn't like seeing Rexxar? Rexxar's so cool. And while I was looking through my video archive of like things I've saved that I didn't have on stream, I just thought this was a little nostalgic because I'm like looking at finishing up this run. Look what I found. I found a video of me making Rexxanna for the first time. I actually saved this. How far we've come. I have a couple other videos from like her first, I don't know, 8 levels or something. I just took a couple things, so. Yeah, exactly. Oh, classic. If you're interested in what the Rexxar challenge is, do ! Rexxar. I have a little bot that will say what the rules are. I've stuck to them the whole time. I would say the only one that feels a little cheaty at this point, and it's not a huge deal to me, but if you remember, part of the challenge has been to not have a hearthstone, right? Because Rexxar also, he doesn't have a home. So that was like the flavor of that idea. Now, I've been leveling with my wife, Calzy, who's a mage, and I gotta tell you, the Rexxar challenge, the way I've been doing it, stings a lot less if you have a pocket mage. Because it's like, crap, we're done a dungeon. Well, gotta walk out. That's what the normal Rexxar challenge would be, but because I have a mage, it's like, oh, I can just send you to Orgrimmar. So, I think maybe if I adjusted something, maybe I would turn down portals. I don't think Rexxar personally would be against portals, but it feels like one of those gray area things. That being said, the only other adjustment I've thought about but didn't want to do is maybe never using a flight point, which would really make me have to like logistically plan out everything. I think it's doable, but it is very, I would say it would make things way tougher and take a lot longer. So again, not tougher in the sense that like, oh, it's difficult, but tougher in the way that it's like, okay, I finished up this leg of the Onyxia Attunement quest. Okay, well, now what? Oh, I have to go all the way to the other side of the world. It just adds hours and hours onto stuff that normally wouldn't. And while I'm speaking, just to let you guys know also what I'm up to right now. So I just lost that screen. I am turning in... the Eye of Emberseer. I was trying to get the Attunement quest stuff started so I can have douses when I start doing more Molten Core with Rexxanna. So I did get my eye from, was it Lord and Emberseer from Upper Black Rock Spire. So I'm going to turn that in because I was in Orgrimmar, so I was close by. I'm going to turn that in, and then we'll kind of look at what we want to do next. And while I'm traveling around, I was told by one Dan from the radio, which I always call him Dan from the radio, but just calling him Dan kind of sounds too basic. But he's the person who manages all the radio stuff. He's sort of thinking like the editor-in-chief, managing partner, or something like that for the radio. He's been quite invested in my challenge runs, and he had some ideas about what my next challenge run could be. And because I like Dan, and Dan's helped me before, I was like, yeah, I'll hear out whatever you have to say. I'm just making sure all my stuff's on for talking in Discord. Dan, just give me a second here. I need to turn my voice activity on. Okay, here I come, Dan. Hello, hello?
Hello.
Let's see. Do the fine people hear you? Can you say something?
I don't know how to say things.
Okay. Good. I got you.
Oh, that's how it's going to be.
Just add water. How long to the big 60? Pretty much right now, I'm going to get right to the point where I'm going to ding 60, and I want to turn in part of the Onyxia Attunement quest to Rexxar to ding 60. That's where I'm at. Dan, what do you think about that idea?
You should specifically make it the Blood of Drakasat turn in. where you have his blood in the thing,
Right.
and you turn that into Rexxar, and that's when you ding 60.
Yeah, because I think there's a point where I'm going to, let's see, if I have to try to remember. So I get the eyeballs, I go to Miranda the Hag. Miranda the Hag gives me something, but then says you need skulls for it or something like that. And then you have to go to Loranicus, I think.
So no. So after you get the eyeballs, Miranda the Hag gives you the medallion that lets you turn into the Draconoid.
Okay.
And then you go to the Black Drake that's in that zone, Dust Wallow.
Yeah.
And he tells you, all right, if you want to prove your worth, you got to go and kill all these different dragons from the other flights. And that's the Test of Skulls.
Yes.
You come back with the Test of Skulls, he gives you one more test to get a red dragon skull. And then you come back, and he hands you the medallion, and it's like, okay, good luck.
Okay,
and
so
then you're like, wait, I don't know what to do.
So, like, that means the next time I actually go to talk to Rexxar is the final time?
No. So after you complete the Test of Skulls, you go to Rexxar, it's like, what do I do with this thing? And you're kind of confused. And he's like, no, kid, I got you. You're fine. Kill the other big Draconoid that's in Ubers.
Yes.
And we're going to put his blood into there. And you bring that blood in the amulet back to him. And
right. You have to kill the last boss of
Onyxia.
Ubers, right, to get the correct blood, because it needs to be like a commander of the Black Dragonflight or something.
Yes.
Okay, so I do have 2 more turn-ins to Rexxar. Yeah, I think finishing up that way. Also, it will be good to show all the Alliance people how tough the Onyxia Attunement is. They don't.
Alliance,
some of them don't know.
Listen, as someone who has on Turtle level 60 Alliance and Horde characters, Alliance have it easy.
Yeah, listen, I understand the travel woes. Okay, I get that, and that's a persistent issue. Okay, some of that's been made a little better, right? Because I mean, now you guys have a portal that takes you to Alathalas, so you're right close to Nax. Some of your transportation isn't the best. I feel you on that. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh well, skill issue. No, but I think we can all agree that the I had someone talk to me about it, and I was saying the only witty observation I had about it is the reason the Horde has to go to such great lengths for the Onyxia Attunement is to represent all the mental gymnastics that the Horde has to take to decide willingly to go bother one of the leaders of the Black Dragonflight, like that's a neighbor to them, because ordinarily that's just a bad idea. The connective tissue between Onyxia and the Horde, I mean, generally Black Dragon bad, right? But it's also one of the situations where if they had good intelligence, they would know that Onyxia's probably been a bigger thorn in the side to the humans than she's been to the Horde right now. So, like, why? Why do it?
If the Horde doesn't bother her, where's the Horde supposed to get all those shiny tier 2 hats?
And that's where I said that's why the quest is so long, because it's the mental gymnastics you got to go through.
That's fair. That's fair.
So, at least the horizon is near, Dan, right? So, what do you think I should try for another challenge? I know you had some ideas. I had one that was a really dumb idea, but
so there were two that I mentioned in your chat as of like a month ago that
yes.
I've been kind of stewing over, and one I've actually made serious progress on, and the other, which was the like a dwarven rifleman or a dwarven thane of some kind, I haven't put any energy in. But the one I have put energy in is a Blademaster. And I think I actually have a good theme behind it too, because, and this is kind of why I was thinking about it. When I first started like trying to come up with the idea, it really just felt like I was trying to copy you, and that there's something that just kind of felt like, okay, I need to make this my own. I need to actually like put myself and what I do and how I play WoW into this, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of started looking at it from that perspective and realized I don't want to challenge about just theming. I want to challenge about playing the game in a certain way and really putting more thought and planning into the gameplay itself.
Yeah, because you and I are, I mean, I'm not like the deepest veteran, but I've been playing the game for a while, and I mean, I don't think it's controversial to say one of Vanilla's biggest strengths, it's certainly not its end game. It's leveling, it's its immersion, it's like world building, right? And I think those are seen best while leveling. So, you know, to me, outside of doing something like play an alliance, there's not a lot new for me. And I've always thought about looking at the game differently, because at least for me, each one of my characters, you know, I'm not like a crazy roleplay person, but every one of my characters in my mind has sort of a personality, has like a story. And I've enjoyed that aspect of what I bring to it. So I always thought, I'm like, hey, it would be cool if I could play into that for how they level up. And that's sort of how I came up with the concept of the Path of Rexxar, because I also saw all the stuff about Survival Hunter, and I'd never played Hunter, and I wanted to learn. And it looked like a good avenue for me to try something new out. And at the time, I talked about this a lot earlier on, but like I was feeling mega burned out, and I just wanted to fall back in love with the game. That part succeeded, right? But, you know, looking back on it, I also needed something different. So I do agree that a leveling challenge of any kind, especially when it's self-imposed one, has to really come from something that speaks to you.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I ended up like hitting the reset button on this, almost at least, and reapproaching it, because I wanted to put a challenge together that forced players to slow down and appreciate that they had to think about what they're doing. You can't just rush into it. So the first part of the challenge is Orc Warrior. First off, just Orc Warrior. That's the start.
Okay.
Obviously, a Blademaster is a very specific, not just kind of character, but a discipline that came from a very thin, linear, almost, I don't want to say path, because I'm gonna start saying path too much in this, but a very specific linear discipline from the early days of the time just after Warcraft 1, going into Warcraft 2, and it specifically is with the Burning Blade clan and the traditions that they started teaching orcs as they were coming through the Dark Portal. So with the second wave.
For someone who's like, I know a little bit about the lore. I know you are a big lore fan. Most of what I know about the Burning Blade clan is like stuff that I've learned from. It's stuff that I should know from, you know, ages ago when I played Warcraft 2 and Warcraft 3, because there was some information about them in like the booklets, but really most of the knowledge I have comes from, I think it was a couple of years ago, Platinum WoW put out a lore video about all the different orc tribes, and he went into pretty good detail covering the lore on that. And also, if anyone's ever interested in that, Platinum WoW does great lore. He's also self-referential, so he'll be like, this is what happened before Shadowlands. Full stop.
Yeah,
and this is what happened after. So, you know, even though he's very much in playing retail and does a lot of his content based off retail, he still pays homage to the early lore.
Yeah. All right. So the big thing about the Burning Blade is and this is written in the Warcraft 2 manual, they had no leadership of any kind. They are described as an elemental force of nature that simply exists. So the tradition with the Burning Blade and these wandering warriors that were these blade masters wasn't so much a position of, oh, these are like the elite warriors or leaders or whatnot. They're these wandering individuals that fight and die based off of their own skill and abilities and strengths, and learning how to outwit enemies without necessarily the resources of an army behind them. Many times they did fight together, but also many times these Burning Blade warriors just went out and caused hell on their own because they could.
Okay, so like to a certain extent, many of the orc tribes, like, they have lineage, they have ancestors, but in many respects, there's plenty of points in the lore that says, hey, if someone's doing a bad job leading and there's some sort of schism, there, at least in a lot of the older lore, it was like a might makes right. If you think someone's acting dishonorably, you can challenge them for leadership, essentially. But it seems like with this particular tribe, it kind of kicks it up to another level, and also there's not as much of a focus on, like homesteading or like making a village. Like, the purview of this tribe is like becoming a great warrior, whereas I think other tribes have, post like, when they're teamed up with the Burning Legion days, have other focuses.
So here's the thing: there is no group goal with the Burning Blade.
Okay.
They are technically a clan. They have their own identifiers, but the fact of the matter is that it is a loose association of these orcs that are semi-related to each other, who don't really give a fuck about anything other than either going out, destroying, pillaging, fighting, dying. And there's just this small group of the Burning Blade clan orcs who decided, I am going to become a master of the blade. That is my doctrine. That is my discipline. And that just, it kind of formed on its own from the little knowledge we have.
How much do you think they borrow from Eastern tradition with the concept of sort of a roving band of Ronin? Like that sort of Japanese tradition? Because that's what it sounds like.
I was going to use the term Ronin here in a little bit. So yes, absolutely yes. A lot of the Blade Masters that we see, the few that are left during Warcraft 3, where we actually get to experience them in their more later discipline stages, where they've kind of honed in and advanced the discipline of a Blade Master. It's very much like Lone Ronin, who they're not really associated with the group that they're fighting with or fighting for. They're just there at the time.
So,
does that make sense?
Like, so it's a little bit like, rather than building like a village or a community, like, it's more about if you feel drawn to the way of the Blade Master, like, you join this tribe. I'm assuming they don't really care about your background, like where you came from originally. It's just, you're either a Blade Master or you're not, and if you're with us, your goal is to become a great warrior.
A master of using the blade to reap any kind of destruction that you seek.
Right.
Because here's the thing. A lot of the Burning Blade is still very that demon-infused fury. And you still see a lot of that leaking into Blade Master traditions, where it's not about defense, it's about offense. It's about killing as fast and as hard as you can.
Now, there are mobs currently in vanilla that say they're with the Burning Blade, right? Like the ones that are outside of Ogrimmar?
The Searing Blade.
Okay, so I guess you could understand why I might mix up those two.
So it pretty much, maybe using the same name or similar name for something else, because we know they're associated with the Shadow Council.
Okay.
And while the Burning Blade was associated with, just soaking in that demon fury, they weren't necessarily associated with the Shadow Council. Again, they were just more an uncontrollable force of nature that was sometimes unleashed. Like, okay, we're pointing this group in the general direction of X problem and hope they solve it.
So was the working with the Shadow Council and taking the aid of demon power, was it a means to an end, or were they kind of duped and then kind of controlled because those in power knew that about them? They're like, hey, if we promise them power, these suckers are going to take it, right?
I don't think that's a question we can answer with the Burning Blade clan.
Okay.
What we do know, though, is what they became was a force of destruction more than anything else. That, again, didn't really care about anything. They didn't have goals and aspirations.
And there's not really a code of honor or anything like that, like a lot of traditional orcs might have.
Well, there were definitely codes, and we do see that in later Blademaster habits.
Okay.
Especially in armor choices or lack of armor choices, because I'm going to talk about that. But there is this whole idea of honor and respect, and that warriors, okay, this person is also a great warrior and has immense strength, and I'm going to respect him. That really wasn't a huge thing for the Burning Blade, and you kind of see that in a little bit more of the trickery and deception they will also use, that some other orcs may not always be okay with. And I'm specifically pointing to the mirror image ability in Warcraft 3.
Oh, yes. I mean, that was almost like a little bit like an evasion type ability. It's like, well, I don't really have armor, but you're gonna have trouble hitting me, you know?
Yeah. So the Blademaster challenge, or the Path of the Blademaster, depending on what we want to call it, starts with you picking an orc of some kind. You are an orc, and you are deciding that this old heritage of being a Blademaster is what you want.
Hold on, I'm just getting a couple things here for stream so we can write down some of these thoughts. Okay, well, that text is very small, but I'm going to make this window bigger.
Oh god, that's tiny. Also, as a heads up, I do have like 5 minutes before I have to hop into another meeting, but then I'll be back after it.
Okay.
I just figured I had time, so okay, I'll hop in early.
Yeah. All right, so, okay. So, what else were you thinking about this?
So, after obviously making the character and whatnot, you're picking a warrior. This is a warrior challenge. I know warriors better than any other class by far.
Yeah.
A lot of people think it's priest for me because people know me as Zap Snaps.
Yeah.
On my Shadow Priest, but really it's my warrior.
Like the only other one I could see making maybe a case for it would be a rogue. I think based off what you're saying, maybe like a survival hunter. But I mean, warrior is so much more like very much super focused on weapons. So I can definitely see that.
And there's a couple specific reasons why I'm going to insist on warrior. We'll get to those.
Okay.
The next thing, though, because this challenge is all about proper training, preparation, and making sure you can outthink your opponent in addition to outfighting them.
Okay.
You must, because orcs don't start with the two-handed sword talent or skill at all. By level 10, you must have earned enough money on your own to train two-handed swords at level 10. Period.
Have to grind gold to train two-hand sword?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, the reason I say two-handed swords and I lock the challenge to two-handed swords after level 10 is because all the examples we have -1 of sword masters refer to swords. The Burning Blade, the Searing Blade, and the Blade Masters we have in Warcraft 3. The one exception, of course, is Grom Hellscream, who used an axe, Gorehowl. However, I think Grom Hellscream is an exception to the rule. Well, no one else is ever going to come close to Grom Hellscream. Just like no shaman is ever really or should ever come close to what Thrall is able to do.
I wrote down Grom is special because, Grom killed a god. Like, checkmate.
Yeah. What polearms with a blade, like one dropping from Ubers? I didn't really think about that, to be honest. I think special exception could be made for the hacksaw that drops off of Rend.
So it's a part. So some of this is like you do need a two-handed weapon, but specifically it needs to fit the Blademaster aesthetic more than anything else.
Yes, and I do make other special exception for a couple of those things later on with headpieces.
Okay.
So I see that actually really fitting into the challenge. As long as it fits the idea of something with a long, semi-straight blade on a handle, then I think you're pretty good. None of those pole arms that are a long stick with a short little dagger at the end of it, though. That, I believe, would be against the spirit of the challenge.
So it sounded like you were going to do something with armor?
Yeah, so in regards to armor, all of the Blademasters that we see expose their chest. That sounds horrible, but that's just what we see from all of them.
So no chest armor, no shirt.
No chest armor, and I also am saying no shoulder armor. Again, Grom is the only Blademaster we see ever wearing shoulder armor. And I think, again, that is an exception to the rule.
Maybe that's what it took. Maybe that's what it took to take down Scenarius. I used an axe, guys. It's way better. I have shoulder pads. It's great.
Little demon blood, too.
Yeah.
Just a little bit of demon blood.
You know, I mean...
Just a touch.
We listen, whatever it takes, you know. I'm not against PEDs, as long as, you know, stays healthy. Doesn't sound like you had a healthy relationship with it, but who am I to judge?
No. Now, I am okay with head armor, back piece armor, because those can be hidden.
Well,
and also saying no head and back piece armor at all, it's going to be stretching reality a bit here stat-wise.
You can hide chest armor. With T-Mog, you can.
You can. When is that available, though?
Level 1, I believe. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, by the way, in chat, if that is the case. I'm pretty sure the fashionistas sell a hidden belt, hidden shoulders, hidden glove, hidden wrist, and hidden legs. Maybe they don't have hidden chest.
Oh, do they not? I'm pretty sure they do.
Okay, no, I'm
pretty sure they do.
Classic Stars is yes, one from vendor. I remember it was always an issue because like Lobies or like Twinks way back in the day would like buy it because it had way too much armor for that level. So it was always level 1, and then they had to scale back the armor to only give 1 armor. But again, this is going to be a self-imposed challenge, right? So, like, if it's quote-unquote hidden, you're not really fitting the theme of the challenge of a self-imposed challenge. So I was just only asking that because I'm like, well, you can hide cloaks. I'm like, yeah, you can hide cloaks, but that's an interface option, right? So the reason you have helmet and cloak as okay is because it's not a T-Mog, it's an interface option to hide.
It's hideable, yes.
Yeah, okay.
And I don't know why those two specifically are hideable, but other pieces aren't. I don't know why the devs originally made. Well, I do kind of know why the devs originally made it, but it really doesn't have anything to do with the challenge.
Yeah.
So I'm saying with the interface we currently have in the game we currently have, I'm saying head and back is okay. And if you do want to have headpiece visible, there are some that are acceptable, like
headbands, yeah,
eye patches,
something really tribal looking, maybe.
There's some very restricted and limited that is more about keeping your vision clear or vision focused in some way.
Yeah.
And before anyone gets on me about, an eye patch isn't going to help you, keep things focused, watch the Mythbusters Pirate episode. It's a lie. It does help.
It does.
Helps with night vision.
Yeah, and also helps between going above decks and below decks when you need both night vision and...
I need to step away. I will be back here in a little bit, all right?
Okay. Well, I'm working on stuff, so just jump in whenever you're ready.
I will be here.
Okay. All right, guys, it's just us again. Also, sorry, Classic, I did mean to ask him. I wanted to get what we could get out of him before it was time. I am here right now because... interesting. I need to get Claw rank 8. I believe... get that back up? That would be... That one, and then we go here. Nope, that's not right. Nah, it doesn't want to. It doesn't want to look at Brave. Okay. What if I do this? Sorry, I'm just trying to get my web browser back up. Goodness forbid I ever like do stuff well as a streamer. I'm not that guy. Okay, what about this one? That's my other notepad. It refuses to go back. What the heck? Hello, Ordinary House. Thanks for dropping by. I hope your time being stoned goes well. Stay for the vibes. Stay to chill out. I'm literally just trying to show one window of something, and it's just refusing me. Very annoying. Okay, does that work? Okay, now it works. All right. Because we're looking for... I think a Winter Spring Screecher would be the simplest one. So I need to put that in the DB search to see where that is. DB Winter Spring Screecher. And then according to this, they're all south of here, which I kind of feel like I knew. Bregorn's been following me around. Hello, Bregorn. By the way, I actually think I could use your help. I have the quest for the Cache of Maori. I don't think I'm strong enough to solo them. So maybe after we could do something. And I should be able to tame a Screecher solo because my frost traps, my ice blocks last a good long while. So. And a bucket. Sorry, I'm just catching up on chat there. And yes, Lax Elf. Leveling on Turtle is peak, I believe. Also, I know Epoch is going to be launching soon. Everyone knows that I'm going to try Epoch out, but probably like 4 to 6 months after it launches. But I'd love to know if anyone here is going to be trying out Epoch. I've been trying to keep tabs on it just because, I do Turtle WoW news, but Epoch's probably the next big player in the private server game. We're going to see how it goes. I think some people in their community are a little concerned about too much hype, which it's tough, right? There's no correct way to launch a server. If you get too much hype, it can kind of burn out and things can turn out poor. I'm going to try, by the way, Bregarn, I'm going to look for a 58 or a 57. 57. We're going to go for that one. Yep. I'm going to kill the Ravager first because he's here and I can skin stuff. Oh, okay. Yeah, well. Make sure to loot, as I am a skinner. He didn't loot. You monster. You have a Cache of Maori, I know it. Yeah, I mean, Lizzie Babs, people like you and I who are like, we've been here for a long time on Turtle, so, like, it feels weird, but I mean, like, I'm willing to at least check it out, but I really don't like when it's just big and crowded and crazy and stuff, you know? All right, we're gonna do this. I need to get you out. Tell you put Misha away for a second. Yeah, I mean, if it has like Turtle's always had some. I have an active summon already? What are you talking about? Oh, do I? Hold on. That's right. I need to do this to do this. Yeah, I mean, I've heard good things about what they're doing for World PvP. I think Turtle could do a lot more for PvP. I don't think that's a crazy statement to make at this point, but we'll see what happens. You're hoping Ascension doesn't buy it? I don't know how that all works. Okay, let's get this bird some food. I don't even know, what do birds eat? Nope. Okay. Would you like this? Okay, great. Now I want you to teach me Claw rank 8. There it is. And we'll, I don't know, go have you fight your cousin or something. Yeah, I think they might eat bread too, Vrogorn, but I don't need him for very long. He just needs to use his ability like once or twice. Every time I've done this, it's taken like no time. Oh, and just like that, I learned it. Why are you not letting me... Oh, I got screeched. I was silenced. Thank you, Bird, for the help. Godspeed and whatever you do. Are you ready, Misha? This is your last ability you have to learn. You did it, Misha. You really did it. You're now the best pet ever. This was... Oh, where did I get Misha? I think I got Misha in... Tirisfal Uplands, I think? I can't... It's actually been so long, I can't remember. Yeah, because I don't think there's a bear in Durotar, so it must have been. It wasn't Ashenvale. Ashenvale, they're all gray, so... yeah, exactly. Classic. All right, Vrogorn, let's see about messing up some of those Frostmaw giants. I will definitely pull my weight, but they are elite. On Vrograg, I could do like a rogue tank spec, and they don't hit me, and I can farm them. But as a melee hunter with this level of gearing, it's not an option. Stone Talon Mountains in the troll area. I really think that's not where I got her, though. I think I did it on stream, which is good. That way I have, like, a record of it. It's the same episode you complained about Flight Path. Laxelf, that does not narrow it down. Do you know how often I complain about stuff like that? What's going on? Oh, Misha, did I leave you on aggressive? That's on me. That's on me. And did I also leave myself on aspect of the pack? Yep. I'm glad you remember it. Most of my guild on Turtle Isle South Seas is going to Epoch. We're going to try to compete for server first. Oh, okay. So default, you're on South Seas. I've heard like mixed things about how South Seas has gone. I don't I don't really know the full story there. I'm like, just covering Nordanaar and Tel'abim has been plenty, but like I don't really know what the story is over that way. 252 on your first Rexxanna stream. Okay, thank you, Lizzie Babs, for the exactitude in which you gave me that information. Now, for this quest, I need Frostmaw shards, which I think I can just... Oh. Vrograg, I might not even need to kill any, because it looks like someone's been farming these guys. I came over here before to do this, and I thought I had to knock down these guys to get their shards, and I forgot you could just pick up the shards here. Yeah, no, it's okay, Lizzie Babs. If it was the first stream, I believe you. I can find it simple, easy enough. Sticking with one pet's been pretty fun. I feel like I've built a better relationship with Misha. I'm also considering changing Rexxanna's name when she finishes the Path of Rexxar, because she had to change her name because she lost honor. In a lot of orc tradition and stuff. Oh, I don't know. Who is this? Vrograg? In orc tradition, you normally get like a special name when you do some great deed or something like that. So I was thinking like maybe Rexxanna can get like her own name. Oh, thank you, Vrograg. I mean, I would like to default, but the thing is I heard so many mixed things. I mean, I heard some people say like the GM staff wasn't helpful. I've heard things like there was just a huge influx of people and it was more than support staff could handle. I've also heard things like it's the natural ebb and flow of having a new server, like what happened to Tel'abim, which I am more inclined to believe because I watched it happen on Tel'abim. But again, I'm not as connected with the community there, and I don't. My understanding is that most of the players that are there are Spanish speaking anyway, even though they had also Portuguese. What is it? Portuguese localization. No tracking even still? Well, the reason I don't have tracking is because before I had, the last tracking I had was humanoid, and then I went to Orgrimmar, and I'm like, turning that off. I will say tracking is super useful, especially in areas where there's contested mobs, where like it's hard to get mobs and you're waiting for them to respawn. Having tracking on for the specific type of mob you're looking for, super clutch. Because like you'll see them the second they pop up and spawn, and you can take advantage of that. How many do I need? I need only 2 more. I think if we go up and around the corner, we can get more. I have to dismiss Misha to catch up. The only thing that was I did hear from people in the South American server, but that's because they had me in that Discord as a team member. I don't have a GM account or anything like that, but they had me in as a team member, so I would periodically just get like a DM from someone who would be like, hey, such and such thing happened, can you fix it? In Spanish, and I'm like, no hablo español. What do you mean Shagu made the best tracking with his add-on and you do not appreciate? How dare you say I do not appreciate his work? I do, sir. How dare you? In fact, that's how I knew to get the mob with the new, with the final rank of Claw. Also, I have Vrograg running around pinging locations for me, which I do appreciate. Is keeping an eye on chat and playing. one of those things is going to suffer, and it's usually my gameplay. Prove it, turn it on. You want me to turn on tracking? Okay, here. I'll track giants. And now you can all see giants. There's no giants in my vicinity. And then the tracking reticule goes away, but if I do farm again, all you have to do is left click it to make it go away, and you right click it to choose which kind of mob you want to follow. It's really ingenious. Clearly Shagu favors hunters. That's all I needed. Find Hela and give her Obby scale. This is from a quest in Ubers. There's like a wounded blue dragon whelp over there. I don't know what this quest is about though. I don't think I've ever done it. Is this hard to get to? I'm gonna see about turning that one in, Vrograg. I think I can walk there. If not, I guess we bash some blue dragons in. Time to jump the branch. What branch? Hold on. I'll turn on dragonkin tracking, so we'll know when we're in their area. No. Ploxin, you're not. Literally, what you see on my stream overlay is what I see. I see that Ploxin wrote, "Am I just shadowbanned since Mr. Stream is entirely just glossing over my stuff?" Nope. Just happenstance. Like, when you say something and I go on a diatribe, it's like when I'm going on a diatribe, like right now, I'm not looking at chat. I need to finish a thought. If I don't do that, then I constantly get interrupted by what other people are saying, and then I never finish a thought, which I think is worse. So, basically, when I finish whatever rant I'm going on, then I stop and look at chat. Like right now. You can get to Hela by going up the mountain, left of the cave, and onto a branch. Okay, we'll try that out. Oblivious, like Prospector Rem Travel, ping the bastard. Ping, you can ping me all you want. It's not gonna make a difference. Discord, my pings are turned off. Oh no, I've been frostbolted. No. It's okay, I'm good. Yeah, no, I Twitch and YouTube chat are like my little chat thing is agnostic. It doesn't care which one's which. It'll still show your screen name, and I remember that Larazia is Ploxin. So I think Vrograg definitely knows what he's doing. Vrograg is the paladin you think paladin should be like. Oh, there's a... Huh? Frost Lake. That's cool. Oh, I see. Okay, just do a little jump here. Okay, just missed the jump. Easy. Now for some parkour. Wait, is this how you're supposed to get up to her? That doesn't seem right. Okay, I didn't really get a jump there either. What's going on? Yeah, that was pretty sweet. First try. I don't really know what I'm jumping at, though. I jumped way too early on that. Hold on. Can I just jump up this? No. Hold on. Maybe you can mailbox it. Oh, so it had something to do with them not using a ticket system? Like, how much Discord, like, is there something wrong with the GM system? Maybe there is? Oh, I almost had it. Okay, alright. Lizzybab says I have to jump on the branch, which I am inclined to believe. Lizzybabs wouldn't lie to me. Hold on, let me go around to the branch. Oh, this branch? Or the other one? I think the other one make more sense. I don't think this is the branch. Maybe? Oh wait, hold on. I had something for a second. Alright, Elizabeth's up. There doesn't look like there's a spot to get onto that branch. Maybe around the back. I see Vrograg do that. Also, remember, I'm dealing with additional ping because I am playing the game through OBS. Is this... Well, that's... Lizzie Bab says keep going, but here's the problem. When I'm here, I can't jump anyway. You see what I'm saying? Like, I can run, but I can't really... And then keep going. Suddenly it works. Wiggle more. Here's the thing, Lizzie Babs, I know you did this on a gnome. There could be some gnome trickery afoot. So everyone that's you're gonna get, if you're prone to motion sickness, you're gonna get motion sick from this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. What is the prescribed way to get up to this lady? Like, she's next to that rune? Is that right? I know Vrograg almost had it. I'm considering that it might be a situation of model. This might be a model specific thing that you can do. It's either that or clear a cave full of... Hold on. No. I had it for a second. Do you see that? Okay, I'm like spamming jump and it's working every now and then. And the intended method is through the cave. Yeah, I've done that before. Actually, you know, if I do the test of skulls, I have to do that again. Hold on. I'm really trying to... Oh, there it is. Okay. I never doubted you, Lizzie Babs. It just seems very difficult. I mean, that was quicker than clearing a whole cave full of elites. I will give you that. Okay. The aspects insist that we stay out of the affairs of mortals. In this world, however, such a thing is not always possible, especially when one of our own contemporaneously disregards such edicts. I got a little chunk of XP, that's nice. We understand what the cursed brood of Deathwing attempt to do, and we know it cannot be allowed. Because of the protection Blackrock Mountain affords Nefarian, it's become increasingly difficult for us to intercede. We can, however, empower you, mortal, should you choose. The path before you is one full of peril. You must decide whether to accept our help. Ponder this and speak to me again when a decision has been made. I don't think I've ever done this quest. I actually don't know what she's going to ask me to do. It is the arcane that I control, and the arcane which will send you to your next destination. When you are ready, your journey will over again. To the Plague Lands you will go, and to Jaziba you will speak. He is a mortal as wise as the ancients, and as patient as the immovable earth. Find him in Andor Hall. Speak with Jaziba in the Plague Lands. You're not... Is she gonna send me? She sent me, but not where I wanted to go. What? I mean, I should have saw it coming. Yep. And you know what? I might as well pick up the quest for Skullomance while I'm here. I still got room. Dang. That's unfortunate. So I wanted to work on getting eyeballs from the black dragonfly. Oh no, not on the other side of the world. I mean, if anyone can do it, I'm just surprised she had to kick me first. Like, why can't you just, like, teleport me like on regular mage? Also, why can't mages do that? I would love if I got to kick someone before I teleported them somewhere against their will. Yeah, for a split second, I'm like, wait, she can't actually kick me all the way to Western Plaguelands. And then I saw there was like a timer. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm just gonna finish floating and it'll be fine. And then when I finished floating, it was not fine. She sent me here. I mean, I could talk to her. That's, Miranda the Hag's there. That's the person I need to turn on. If I knew how this worked, I would have, like, done Upper Blackrock Spire first, and then sort of, like, use that to teleport me here so I could have turned it in quick. But your boy Vrograg don't think about that. Okay. I don't know if I need to talk to her first. I feel like I do. Telling me the story of Solomance. No, you still have the quest. Alright, so, like, I guess I talked to this dude? Hello, Holst OP. I mean, the challenge is essentially almost over. I think I do want to take up Dan on that offer to actually ding 60 by turning in the final step of the Onyxia attunement. I like that idea. That's kind of the angle I wanted to go. I was just gonna be like, well, any Rexxar turn-in would be good, but it kind of makes more sense to do the final step. Also, to anyone who hasn't enjoyed Turtle WoW that much at high level, there is a bridge. There's a bridge connecting these two things now. It's great. I think. I feel like there's a bridge. Yep, there it is. I feel like that was put in at some point for like a an RP event, and then they just kept it. Same thing for ZG, by the way. If you go just outside of ZG, you're trying to skate around to the right side. There's actually a little staircase that brings you up on top of the wall. That was initially put in there for the second Gurubashi Empire to have an RP event so they could get into the uninstanced version of ZG more easily. It's still there today. And you guys say RP players don't contribute anything. They always are. Do I plan on doing a bunch of math for the XP? So, Polywell, here's what I'm going to do. One blue bar is almost to top. I right-click name, and then turn off XP. That's what I will do. So I'll keep an eye on it, but yeah, I think when I get like within 5-10%, that's probably when I'm gonna actually really take a look at making sure I don't accidentally overlevel. Oh, really? I had to... Again, you see? RP players, they're discovering parts of the game you never even think of. I think Vrograg has to deal with the undead here because he's a paladin, so, you know. You know how paladins are about the undead. He's just gonna run straight through it. I mean, what does he care, right? He's got full plate armor. He's got good gear. Okay, just try it. Oh, there he goes. Oh, does that mean she's like in one of the buildings? I know Chromie's in one of these buildings. They do have chrono booms here for the world buffs no one uses in raids. I'll help out, why not? Vrograg, are you running or are you oh geez, this is a lot of damage. I'm just gonna bandage myself up. I think they did a mana burn, so be careful. Yep, there's the mana burn. So thank you. Oh man, I didn't have my Arch of Dawn trinket equipped. Man, thank you. We didn't need to do that at all. We could have kept running. All right. Oh yeah, Larazia. I'm planning to do my last turn in at Rexxar to finish the Horde Onyxia Attunement. That is my current plan. Yeah, I really thought it was Chromie up here now. Yeah, see, look, Chromie's right here. A finer instrument of justice, Hela, because you've not been chosen. Read from the catalog of the wayward and be enlightened. Should you persist, should you do what is asked of you, should you survive, a hero you will make. I'm assuming it's this book. Okay, it says it's a bunch of garbled text. Interesting. Huh? Was that... Hold on. Quest accepted, Catalog of the Wayward, and then Catalog of the Wayward completed. There's no follow-up? That seems weird. And this is Chromie's little quest. I wasn't planning on doing it, but... See, look, there's a Chrono Boom Displacers. I have voted for I've been promoting a long time to have a way to save consumables with them rather than world buffs, since it doesn't work, but... Frostlake's here again. Hello. I would assume he did the same thing that I just did. So. Oh, hold on. Let's see. Vrograg, do you have the Uber's key? Well. Let me see if I can rustle up some people. If you're in-game on Nordanaar and want to join, I'm going to start making my way over to Upper Black Rock Spire. And I'm going to go get my eyes for Miranda the Hag. And then pretty much have to come right back to where I am right now. But I have an ace up my sleeve. I'm in Blackwing Guard, so I can make it to Upper Black Rock Spire real quick. But I'm gonna ask my guild in case anyone wants to come. Anyone down for killing elite black dragons in Ubers for my Oni Attune? Thorhan. Oh, Lizzie Babs, you haven't seen it either? Yeah, I know. Yeah, Brigorn, I'm gonna make my way over there real quick too. But I have a cheat code. I do not know if I'm gonna be able to. By the way, you can get the eyes not only from the Elite Dragons in Upper Black Rock Spire, you can also get it from the Black Dragons in Blackwing Lair. I've actually seen players do that before. It's a Blackwing Guard guild base. Oh, did you really, Brigorn? Brigorn said he got it. He got his Iron Foe enchanted in Ironforge, which is pretty cool. The only thing left to do is actually become a dwarf. Oh, wait. Hematos is dead, but you can't skin him? Come on, I want to skin him. Hold on, let me check my... Oh, hey, RTV right here if anyone wants it. Black Thorhan's cheating on me with another group. Before I started streaming, he said he'd like to help out. Killing black dragons in Ubers for Oni Attune Horde. Yeah, I don't need a full Ubers run. Yeah, doesn't need to be a full run. Just clown on the dragons and reset. Sorry, Thorhan wrote that he's in Lower Black Rock Spire to get milked. I hate to see it. Hello, Jam Le Jim. How's it going? Also, Jam Le Jim, I have a pinned link that you might be interested in. A community member made a French translation patch for Turtle WoW. And since your name roughly translates to, wait, Jimapel is the name. Jam is I love the gym in French. You might be interested. Oh, there's a dragon there? Oh, that's the flying one. Yeah, I love how this counts as a dragon, but I can't actually target or do anything with it. I mean, I could just stand outside of Ubers and just ask. Yeah, see, look, there he is. I cannot target him. GMs can target them, by the way. I was helping do like set dressing for No Pharaoh's last DJ show, and I was using a GM to morph people to look like they're from the Black Dragon Flight. It was really fun, and I found out I can change those things. And they keep doing their little flight path. Exactly, Jim. That's what I'm saying. Anyone have room for 2 more for Ubers? Dang it. I don't think it's gonna happen. Dang it. See, like, all I need to do is go in there, open the door, and there's like, I want to say 3 black dragons. I wonder if we could actually... Vrograg, do you think we... Hold on. Think we could duo the orcs and first dragons? Maybe. Just gonna go check on Mandalore. I'll be right back. Mandalore's doing just fine. Let me see here. Can anyone heal a tank and me as we surgically kill just the black dragons in Ubers? Is it worth it to do mining or herbalist as a low mobility class? Herbalism, because of the existence of lashers, mobility matters less. Mining is kind of a crapshoot. Like, there's some spots where it's really good and some spots where it's really bad. The problem is that, like, RTVs now share spawns with all thorium nodes, so you actually have to look. I think it's probably more fun to be a miner in a way because you actually discover stuff because not everything's picked over all the time like herbs. But because you can do lashers as an herbalist, you can get some guaranteed dream foil, maybe some Grom's blood in lasher runs. And those can also give you a chance to get black lotuses. As far as worth it, I mean, like, that's kind of a value assessment that I think only you can make. But mining can make money. I don't think it makes as much money, at least nowadays, with herbs, because herbs are having a scarcity issue. So, yeah. Vrograg, I can't just magic my streamer clout. I said if anyone on stream wants to help, they're welcome to. Jim, I haven't seen it that much, and Kalzi has leveled up. mining. I haven't seen it happen that often. It happens occasionally, but it's not that bad. If you're really good at PvP, you can flag and then try to flag them and kill them. But that's only going to work half the time anyway. Well, I don't have a healer Vrograg, but I did get a mage interested. Oh, jeez. Whew, okay. I do have some CC I can use too. We don't really need... Oh, I'm gonna get Misha out. Misha, you doing okay? Oh, jeez. Misha does not have Growl on. Good. Exactly, Onyxia. I mean, we're almost there, man. We are almost there. We're gonna have a Path there. My Scorpion Sting's nice. It does slow down their attack speed, so that's helpful. You know. Alright, if we can get that open. Alright. Now all we need... Yeah, we need these guys. Just these guys. No, no, no. No, not... Vrograg, you madman. Okay, this is going to be problematic. We don't even need to go into the alcoves. Oh, they're just gonna summon things. So we just need the dragons. The alcoves can be ignored. I think it's like 4 dragons and then we reset. Yeah, exactly. So, let me see where it is. It says 20. Easy. Misha did great. Misha, however, does not have all the talents, but I did change a couple things up with my spec before I did that Molten Core. I got rid of Swift Reflexes. That was a big one. I should have kept it because it has attack speed. I missed that. I thought it was just parry. I gotta fix that. Okay. Also, I should talk to the turtle team. Deterrence and auto shot having the same icon is very confounding. I was looking for my deterrence and I forgot I didn't keybind it. Now, you know, if I was super driven to do this, I could like dual box with my shaman and just heal. It's not really worth it. We reset after all the easy dragons. No, it's so big. Like, I'm trying to do something. I'm trying to show that I've been working on this because I want to finish 60 by turning in to end the Onyxia Attunement with Rexxar. So I still got some wiggle room, you know. But I wanted to show that I was doing some of this stuff on stream. Like, I could just go mindlessly do some other quests, I'm sure, and get 60. It wouldn't be tough, you know. But it's been a long journey, you know, and I want to properly celebrate Rexxanna's ascension. Am I rolling a new tune for 1.18? Maybe? I don't know. I've enjoyed these leveling streams, if I'm being honest. That's Gigaputty joining again. Let me get some, hold on, let me get Misha back out. Misha might be angry at me. No, she didn't die, she's good. And did I actually have any water left? Maybe I don't. Oh, I have enchanted water, easy. So the way it works, I already did that first initial step, Jim. So I did the defeat Rend, talk to Atrig, talk to Thrall. Thrall sends you to talk to Rexxar. Rexxar sends you to go talk to Miranda the Hag. Miranda has you go collect eyeballs, which is what we're on right now. When you collect the eyeballs, then she tells you to go to Loranicus, I believe. And then Loranicus... No, the disguise works. You have to talk to, like, Ember Strife, I think? Oh, geez. See, now, this is doable. Also, even though they're black dragons... Oh, okay, well, there's two. Didn't realize that was a thing. It's all good. We can burn them down. Exactly, Nixium. Like, that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm like, and not that I want to be like that guy, but how many WoW streams have people seen where it's just someone being quiet, playing WoW, like not really engaging? I can't really do that, you know. But that also means I can't really do high-end gameplay because I like chatting. And maybe if I was better at the game, but I'm not that. Okay, we got 4 eyes. Oh, hold on, wait. Did I really give 4 eyes? Oh, I'm just taking a look. 2 eyes and... Okay, that's weird. Oh, hey. Oh. Orange is everyone's favorite. Actually, Misha's favorite as well. 2 eyes per. Okay. Yeah, I think it's 4, so we can actually do this in one full 5 reset. If it always is 2. Make sure there's no, like, secret dragons back there. Another 2. Easy. That's right, Gigaputty. More power to the Forsaken. Oh, there's 5 in it? In a logout? Okay, well, now we're talking. Ow, I forgot they do that. Oh, well, hold on. You did it again. Just don't go to the alcoves. Run out. There might be a reset. Hold on. All right, Brigorn's getting hurt. Don't die, Brigorn. All right, they're out of combat. They're resetting. I'm guessing one of you got knocked into an alcove. What?
I am so sorry.
Oh, hey, what's going on?
Wait, what are you doing?
I'm getting eyeballs.
Okay.
With me, Gigaputty, and Brigorn.
All right. Who is a Gigaputty and who is Brigor?
Brigorn. Longtime fan of the stream. Why do you guys keep going to the alcoves?
What classes are they? Because I can't see on your screen.
Paladin and Mage. We definitely need a healer.
Okay.
I know you got a priest.
Yeah, I'm hopping on Zaps.
Okay. Just whisper me so I get the name right.
Yes. I am whispering you right now.
Okay.
There. I forget where we were.
Heals on the menu, boys. So where? Right. Let me get that. Was it this one? No. That's a good question. I am trying to get the thing back up. Ah, there it is. Okay, so we were. Okay, I have to let them know what to do. Gonna release be a few seconds. All right, so Blademaster challenge needs to be an orc warrior. The goal is part of it is outthinking your opponent. You have to grind for gold to train two-hand swords. We talked about how Grom is special because he killed a god. Pole arms are maybe, but they have to look like a straight blade. No pole on the pole arm. As far as armor limitations, no chest and no shoulder armor, but it sounded like everything else was fair game, except for there's like, you can have helmet and cloak, but just hide them to get the better aesthetic. And then we ended talking about the armor.
The only heads you can show are like stuff that holds your hair back, so hairbands or an eye patch or like a face mask or something.
Right.
The other thing about armor is a Blademaster is known for his agility, being able to move quickly and swiftly. So for this challenge, until you get 60, stick to mail. Don't train plate.
Oh.
We generally don't see any Blademasters using like heavy plate armor in the first place. There really aren't any examples of it. Even stuff that Grom wore was pretty much just mail, except for like his shoulder pad. But that was it.
Right. Interesting.
And I know I didn't mention it, but it was kind of implied in the whole you must train two-handed swords. Once you hit level 10, two-handed swords only.
Right, much like what happened with Path of Rexxar, where I was using two-handed axe, but once I got to be able to do dual wielding, I only used two one-handed axes. So
yeah, no one-handed swords, no one-handed sword and shield, none of that. You stick to your sword. You live and die by the sword.
Okay.
Now there is a little more planning then that comes into place, obviously, with only being able to use mail and only being able to use a two-handed sword. You have a situation where you're gonna run into some issues. So a lot of this is planning, especially later on when things start to hit a lot harder. We're talking the 40s, 50s, and 60s. You try to plan out and understand what you're doing and where you're doing it, because you cannot take extra risks.
No. Just curious about this specifically. As a proposed addendum to it, what about sub 40 using leather only, and then after 40 mail only? Because the way the gearing works out, no one has plate until 40. So using mail at pre 40 isn't that big of a deal. Would that be something that you think would fit the vibe?
Because I get that is a base mechanic in World of Warcraft as a whole, is getting level 40 and half the classes in the game upgrade their armor at level 40. So I see where you're going with that.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to be behind the times on armor no matter what because you don't have a chest piece, and that's usually like something like 30% of your armor, I think, like armor value wise. So, yeah, but oh, sorry, Brigorn, I will reset. Did we not kill the other dragons? We didn't kill the other dragons, but
there were too many summons, I think.
Oh, okay. I wasn't really looking at party chat.
I'm not, because a lot of this is also about trying to shake up the overall leveling curve of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want this challenge to involve that power spike at 40.
Oh, I see.
Much more stable and consistent and force you to focus on how you're approaching challenges, how you're preparing to handle issues and challenges, and then making sure you're thinking through what you're doing. So that makes sense to a certain extent where, yeah, there is, for many classes, a jump at 40 with the additional armor availability. My gut instinct says either stick to leather and just say the challenge would just be leather the whole way through, or say just mail.
Okay. What about stat balance? So you mentioned agility is very much a part of the Blademaster way. Do you think there would be any value in saying, hey, you can't have more strength than agility, or something like that, maybe? And that would allow players who are doing it to actually be able to use agility, leather, and mail pieces that would come from those classes to help balance out any strength they would put on. And I don't remind me, but I'm pretty sure agility for warriors doesn't give them attack power. It just gives them crit and dodge.
On Turtle,
I don't know if there's any warriors out there. Let me know. I know agility for rogues. I know agility for hunters. So
I think you're correct. I don't think warriors get attack power.
Or if it does, I think it might be like not 1-to-1 or 2-to-1.
Yeah. No, it's even if it does, it's a small amount.
Yeah.
All right, we are buffed.
I am at 6 eyes. I need 20.
Okay.
And we're just going in, opening the door, and killing the black dragons.
That's all hunky dory. I would be up for a specific stat requirement challenge. I would need to think on that though, because I want to see if that's possible to properly balance out.
So I definitely think there's a world where that stuff can get pretty crazy pretty quickly, as far as like because like as it is, warriors really struggle with leveling just as it is, unless you have something like a pocket healer.
I disagree.
Well, right, but there's heal. If you're a solo warrior, I think it's tough. I should say.
I'm going to respectfully disagree, because everyone thinks that leveling Fury is a bad idea, and that automatically takes them out of the best way to level.
I could see that.
So and maybe this is also something to challenge me to look at warriors differently, without access to some of those best pieces of armor at chest and shoulder.
Yeah.
But I love leveling warriors. I would prefer to level a warrior every single time.
I think the furthest I got when I actually tried a little bit, I did it on a Vagrant, that was just a bad idea for my first experience with warrior to be that. Because not having any green items as a warrior, very tough.
That is a little rusky, yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I think I'm good. Maybe I'll think about doing it again. But
yeah, no, Bragorn, I love leveling warrior. People are scared to level as Fury, and that's their mistake. Leveling as Fury is overpowered.
Now, if I understand the special resource mechanic of warriors is that they get... Brigorn, you should pull it back, friend. If you get knocked into an alcove, we're gonna lather...
Server, hello?
Oh.
Server, hello?
Yep.
Server. Server.
Sorry, I also just looked at party chat. I see Brigorn speaking in Dwarvish because he has his Iron Foe on. Well.
Interesting. So this is a wonderful time to also talk about the preparation and the thought side of the challenge, because in my opinion, a blade master who is training to be the best blade master he can be, is aware that he is only as good as his blade. Which means, and this is how I translate that, you must always, whenever you are going into combat, have a grinding stone buff on your weapon. You must always have your blade sharpened.
Ooh.
Now, that's good and bad, because good, the challenge really forces you to think about, okay, how are you buffing your weapons, making sure you're taking care of them, making sure you always have those consumables available on you, making sure you're handling price and availability. But it also then locks you out of using other buffs and you taking advantage of other classes. So, for example, a shaman, you can't use Wind Fury on your weapon.
Well, that's going to matter mostly, again, at level 40 plus. But yeah, before then, not... I mean, honestly, it's a buff, but it does mean you need to be blacksmithing, I assume, unless you want to pay out of pocket for sharpening stones the whole way.
They're not expensive, in my opinion. I don't think that's a huge ask.
At least be a miner, but yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if there's anything to be said for, like, the discipline of, like, a blade master having to be the one to sharpen their own blade. I don't know if that's something that could be built in.
Even if you are buying the sharpening stones, you are the one doing the sharpening.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And plus, it's not like a blade master can make his blade, sharpen the blade, make his own gear, make his own potions. The challenge isn't about being completely self-sufficient, because if that was the angle I wanted to take, I would probably do something entirely different. This is about thought, about making sure you are ready, about making sure you're putting the time and effort into everything you do. And to that end, because blade masters are known as these individual Ronin, who, and I mentioned I was coming to bringing Ronin more into this,
right?
Because they're not known, they're solitary people. Almost every time, again, outside of Grom Hellscream, we see blade masters in the story of Warcraft. They're isolated individuals. They are doing their own thing. They're training on their own. They're being the best they are, kind of out in the world.
So does that mean no group content?
No, I wouldn't say no group content, because blade masters are well known to participate in different actions and activities that are part of a group. But okay. I say that translates to no guild and no mount.
No guild and no mount.
No guild, no mount.
What about a rented mount?
Absolutely, yes.
Because no one ever uses them, and I want people to use them.
Yes, rented mounts are fine, and yes, flight points are fine. Because a Ronin is going to catch a ride on a trade caravan all the time. Right. That just happens. He's not necessarily going to interact with them, but he is going to catch a ride.
Right.
And move elsewhere.
And a mount of your own, too? Like, that would represent you having, like, a stable or, like...
That's a companion.
Right.
That's a companion, and I think that goes against the spirit of what the Burning Blade was, which was I mean, sure, they may have had some riders in there at some point, but the Burning Blade was kind of at peak when the Wolf Riders were banned. The Wolf Riders had been annihilated, cast out entirely.
Yeah.
So I think that tradition may have carried over. So no mount, no guild. Parties, yes. They absolutely have grouped up with people when the time arose.
I guess given their background, there's not really a particular discipline of warrior that they should or should not use. I mean, you were not going to get as much out of protection if you don't have a shield, but like.
So I will say with this challenge, and I have to be looking at a skill tree to really like think about this properly. There is some granularity to talents that I'm putting in on this. Now there is the one thing that I will tell you. Well, the three things. You need to go down into the arms tree for the parry, like 5 points in parry, and then counterattack. Because the spirit of a Blademaster is you're not really wearing a lot of armor to make the enemy think that it can strike you. But your proficiency with your weapon allows you to dodge and parry and outplay your enemy, outplay your opponent. So I think parry and counterattack in the arms tree really important, and then the defense skill, the defense points in the protection tree.
Oh, right. Hold on. I was bringing up a talent thing for you here.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Crit, I think, is also something I would insist on with this.
Okay. Man, I swear, I always have so many problems just with specifically bringing up windows with OBS. I don't know why, but it's like it doesn't want to be dynamic at times when I change something about it. Okay, well that's World of Warcraft. We don't need that right now.
I can see. Let me show you.
There, I've got it pulled up.
Okay.
Regain.
So I will also say I have started this playthrough. I do have an orc, and some people might have seen him running around, an orc named Orc at Arms. I was shocked that it was available.
Yeah, they at some point had some sort of a name purge. And by that, I mean there's a bunch of names that were available that I was surprised people didn't already have. But some people just grabbed names and then didn't do anything with them. So
yeah, server is back up, by the way.
Of course, because I just finished getting the window up. Hold on. All right.
Oh, when fucking Vrograg logs in,
yeah,
I really hope he's not all the way at the other side of the room.
Sometimes they usually do a rollback on crashes, mostly for hardcore.
Mm-hmm.
So
while we're waiting for everyone to log in, I'm gonna fill out a talent tree.
Okay.
Real quick, and kind of see where I'm feeling about it.
Oh, hello, Synthetic Prod. Synthetic Prod. Your new player. How often do the crashes happen? Pretty infrequently, honestly. At least for
today,
like.
I know there was a crash earlier today. Today's been a little oddball. I'm not sure what's up.
Yeah. You have one every week because reset. It's not really a crash. All right. Is Vrograg going to bring them back? Yes. Yeah, good, Vrograg. Also, thanks everyone for logging back on right away. Oh man, they fixate? Oh, that's not cool.
They do. It's not a huge issue. Also, I'm on the wrong bar. There we go.
Man, Explosive Trap does big numbers. I love Explosive Trap, man.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
No, I can see why Survival Hunters get big AoE damage numbers. All right, I'm up to 10. There was a third guy right here, right? Yeah. All right, are you Skinner too, Giga? Or you?
Sorry, no, I
Dan?
am.
Oh, okay, you're good.
I'll stop.
No, it's fine. I was just like, I assumed a priest wouldn't. All the classes here wouldn't be Skinners, so I was just like, I'll just take care of this.
Yeah, I do. This character has always been skinning tailoring.
Oh, okay.
I know, like, skinning is not the normal
Yeah.
companion profession to tailoring, but I hate enchanting with a fiery passion.
It's pretty bad. I think a lot could be done for it. I'm waiting for Gigaputty to get out. There it is. Reset all instances. Synthetic Prod says, anyway, I'm kind of hyped for the server. I love the style. Didn't want to start on WoW. Retail seems too different from what I would used to back in the day. Yeah, you're not alone with that. And Gildark says, Turtle WoW knocked it out of the park with survival spec. I've heard some people who are very against it, mostly because it's somehow like anathema to what their vision of survival spec. And I get that. Like, I know there's even some hunters that miss having Wyvern Sting, which I guess was a big part of the identity of Hunter in vanilla. Have you done much PvP, Dan?
Not on this character. Well, not on Turtle. I will say not on Turtle. On like retail classic, on classic 2019, and then the one that just happened. I've done a lot of PvP. No one's ever really been able to recapture the spirit of what I've loved about PvP, though.
It is tough. And I don't think vanilla is the right era for good PvP, if I'm being perfectly honest. It needs a lot of adjustments, but I'm also not a big PvP guy.
I adored it. I am the kind of person who, when you tell me, okay, this AV is going to go for 2 days, I'm like, oh, I'm cracking a Red Bull. We are down to clown.
Speaking of clown, I just pulled dragons and almost killed myself.
Proud of you. No, I love the stupid long AVs. I know they're bad for honor. They are not productive. I love the back and forth. I love the fighting hours for inches kind of thing. It feels very Command and Conquer Renegade.
Oh wow, that's a callback. Yeah.
Loved it so much.
Do you know? You probably know more about PvP, at least AV. Do you know about Korak the Blood Rager? He's like one of the.
Yeah, you were talking about the axes off him earlier.
Like, do you think people now just like kill him to farm his drops, or was that something they always did?
No. Generally speaking, Korak was not a focus.
Okay.
For AV and people who were in there. Turtle does Korak a little differently, which is fine. It's just it's a little different from how it was back in vanilla.
Yeah, I mean, PvP has always been a blind spot for me. I try to ask people who seem much more passionate about it than I am, and I'm like, okay. I just nod my head. I think that's
the thing I love too is good Arathi Basins. I love good Arathi Basins. Like, Arathi Basin is easily my favorite battleground.
All right, I just gang, I got all 20 I need. Gigaputty, if you had like a, okay, wait, what's closest? I have to go to Miranda the Hag. So if you had a portal to Undercity, because I don't got a Hearthstone.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. I'll tip for be back later. All right, I got more traveling to do. Let's bring back up the notepad. I keep workshopping this thing here. Hold on, let me get up the. Actually, I did get up the talent tree.
Yeah, I'm filling one out right now. I'm gonna put Zaps back in Stormwind here.
Sure. So, if I understand, you said that you need to go parry, right? And parry is here in arms?
Yeah.
Okay. Is the design to be mostly arms, or?
So it's certainly because you're using a two-hander, you're going to be mostly arms just by the nature of it, but we're cherry picking a little bit from the other trees.
Okay. Is there so what else do you need to target down?
So the reason that we're grabbing parry is because I believe counterattack is vital.
Oh, right.
And then naturally, because you're already in arms, improved overpower. Again, the more you can say you are entering into a fight with the most advantage possible using your blade. Advantage using your blade.
And this definitely seems like a very arms-friendly build.
Naturally, yes.
Yeah.
Counterattack and overpower, vital, in my opinion. A very key part of the overall kit, because it has that big spirit of, I'm not defending myself using armor, I'm defending myself and killing you with my blade. My blade is everything.
Right.
Armor is secondary, stats are secondary, the weapon is what matters.
So, to kind of describe for a little bit here, much of the class system in some respects in WoW is designed off of very classical archetypes from Dungeons and Dragons, and warriors being fighters is in some ways true, and at least the way that because like, you know, I played so much D&D, so the way that I look at warriors is I see this is more of a 3rd edition, but a combat expertise warrior, and then I see a barbarian, not even a fighter, and then I see a tank. And when I go left to right with the specs, because arms to me is sort of like a much more tactically minded sort of weapons specialist, whereas Fury just reads way more like a barbarian, because like you want to be taking damage, and that isn't something that fighters are generally actually pretty good at. In a lot of the systems, barbarians just have more hit points to deal with it, almost in the same way bear tanks deal with not having all the same mitigation. They just have more HP. And then, of course, protection is very much a traditional kind of sword and board kind of style, and that's very quintessential tank warrior from a D&D perspective. But when talking about Blademasters, I think most of the flavor is probably in arms. I don't know the trees that well, but I'd be pressed to think a lot would be flavorful with a Blademaster in Fury or even Prot.
There's two other talents in arms that I 100% agree with you on. Obviously, there's a lot of stuff that just synergizes well with two-handers in the arms tree. That's naturally how it's built on Turtle. Makes total sense. But with what you're talking about in particular, I fully believe that after you look at counterattack and improved overpower, sweeping strikes and Master of Arms. Master of Arms, I feel especially thematically fits so well with being a Blade Master, because you're building that innate talent with your weapon, using your weapon better than anyone else can, in ways that no one else can.
Sweeping Strikes, right. Sweeping Strikes looks just like Slice and Dice. And then Master of Arms. Now, there's also two-hand weapon specialization. I'm assuming you kind of have to go for that.
Yeah, and again, that certainly, like, two-handed weapon spec, Impale, Mortal Strike, these things naturally fit with someone who's using a two-hander. I think they're important, but I wouldn't say they're like thematically key to something versus, Master of Arms, which is very much saying you have mastered use of the sword in a way that gives you an innate advantage.
Huh.
That is very thematic, in my opinion,
So,
for what's going on.
What's up with Boundless Anger? Is that Noon Warrior? That doesn't feel like that fits Arms vibe.
So, Precision Cut and Boundless Anger.
Precision Cut I can see, but
those are both things that Turtle put in to the arms tree to balance out the amount of damage that Fury puts out naturally. It's to really emphasize the use of you want to wait to execute versus spamming execute like most Fury Warriors do.
Oh,
it's
okay.
changing how execute is used with each spec.
How impactful? Because like I know at least for rogues, having a higher max energy pool was kind of like a non-starter in a lot of cases. But how does having a bigger rage pool affect warriors? Is that a big deal for them?
That is specifically to encourage warriors to get more rage before you hit execute. Like, that is the only reason why someone takes something like that.
Is that because execute, if I remember correctly, like empties your rage?
More than that. Execute works instead of weapon damage off of a flat amount.
Okay.
And admittedly, this is my classic / vanilla knowledge. This may actually be different on Turtle, but I'm referencing how I know things function and how I've memorized them in the math, which is vanilla and classic, not Turtle. So excuse me if I'm making a mistake here. But instead of taking pure weapon damage, it takes a flat amount of damage and then adds more damage multiplied by the amount of extra rage spent on your execute. Because execute, like you said, empties your rage pool for more damage multiplied by a certain amount.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a bigger max rage pool and you're getting more damage per rage spent.
Oh, yeah,
suddenly,
I see it right here. It says, attempt to
Yeah.
finish off a wounded foe, causing 600 damage and converting each extra point of rage into 1.5 additional damage, only usable enemies that have 20% health or less. So having the bigger pool means you get a really, really honking big execute.
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, okay.
And with the talent before that you're required to put in precision cut, you're getting more damage per rage.
So that's how Arms Warriors keep up with Fury Warriors.
Yeah, you hit execute phase, and suddenly the number with the amount you can see per rage, if you wait just long enough, it is ridiculous how big those numbers are.
I can only imagine. And then like some of those two-hand weapons are, I mean, because like I've looked at them for doing, when I'm doing Survival Hunter, and I drool at them. I'm like, wow, that's a lot of stats, that's a lot of damage. I'm like, well, Rexxanna just uses 2 one-hand axes, so that's, it is what it is.
Here's the weird part about execute, though. You could be using a gray level 2 versus the biggest, legendary sword you could find. Execute's going to do the same amount of damage.
Right, but I mean, to a certain extent, those two-hand weapons, they're also stat sticks. So they have strength, they have crit, they have hit on them sometimes. So it's like, yes and no, because it's still, your damage is still going to be based somewhat off of attack power, no?
Not with that, no.
Oh, Execute's just built different?
Execute is built different. It is that flat amount, then multiplied, a separate number is then multiplied by the amount of rage you spend in excess of the initial rage cost.
And so Fury Warriors, you just spam it because like the base value is really good for them?
The base value is good, and you have better rage generation, so you can more consistently put it out, and it's less spiky. With arms, you wait for a big one.
Okay.
Because here's the other thing. Rage generation with Fury is super consistent. It's great. It's smooth. It's wonderful. for two-handed arms, even with all the changes that Turtle has made and adjustments to rage calculations, it's still really spotty. So what you need to do is wait for your right time to hit it.
Now, the colloquial wisdom that I've heard is that arms excels at trash damage because they have a big two-hander and they're doing cleaves and stuff like that and sweeping strikes, and they can just do these big damage numbers on a bunch of mobs. But on single target, Fury is still top. Is that roughly?
In my
okay?
opinion, yes.
Right. I think that's mostly what I heard. Again, like, I know this stuff just because I'm a rogue, so I just go, oh, look at all those brown names above me. That's cool. Anyway, what are they doing? It's interesting. I haven't really looked that closely at this. It's interesting how, like, on the left side of the arms tree, so much of it is about, like, mastering weapons and, like, discipline. On the right side, it's all about, like, dude, just make them bleed. Just make them bleed, man.
So here's the other thing, too. When you spend enough time playing a warrior, you learn that certain abilities work in conjunction with each other.
Yeah.
So when you have this big, chunky, slow two-hander, and you hit your sweeping strikes, and then you stance over to Berserker, and you hit Whirlwind, your sweeping strikes is still active. And you blow all of those charges on sweeping strikes at once with one Whirlwind, and you hit 8 things around you.
Ah.
Yeah.
This is coming from a place of jealousy, but
Yep.
feels cheaty. That feels cheaty. I mean, like, if you switch stance, like, okay, so warrior fans, like, I understand this is petty, but if I pop a trinket, right? If I pop Earth Strike and then switch on a different trinket, I lose Earth Strike. How come when you guys pop a cooldown that's for a specific stance and you pop into a different stance, how come that buff stays?
Because we're better.
I guess so. I mean, like, really, rogues have 2 stances. They have stealth and not stealth. They can only do one thing while stealth. They could go back into stealth, which is pretty neat, but you know, we can't do it a ton. Like, on some fights, if you're subtlety, you can maybe do it like 3 times if you time it right.
Okay, can I be honest here?
Yeah.
Can I level with you for half a second? Can I be real? Can I throw you down like a truth bomb?
You can't level with me. I'm already at 59.
All right, so let me just roll this one by you here.
Okay.
Rogues are good for 2 things:
Uh-huh.
stealing and stabbing.
I'll push back on that. Good luck in suppression room.
I will slow walk my ass through that shit.
I guess you will. And you know what's going to happen? You're going to die because the healers are going to get slowed too.
With 39
I've
warriors
been in those
you don't need a healer.
Just five priests and what would they be? 4 times 8, so 30. Well, my brain just stopped. 35 warriors, and all the priests are just doing prayer of healing. You're good.
And everyone listening to the stream right now, everyone's watching, like, what are these 2 idiots talking
We're
about?
We're talking about Blademaster, okay? And I don't know much about warrior because I've some self-respect.
Uh-huh.
I just don't like warrior. I don't know why. Like, here's the thing. Like, I think it comes back from my history with Dungeons and Dragons, where I'm like, oh, like fighter's like the most basic option. It's like picking like human. You can. There's nothing wrong with it, but to me, it feels very blah. And then I didn't help that opinion with doing the Vagrant challenge with the only warrior I've tried so far. I'm like, wow, this sucks.
All right. I'm going to push back on that a little bit.
Uh-huh.
And say, true warrior, a true fighter, someone who decides to dedicate themselves to martial excellence. Okay, my roommate who plays as a rogue main started popping up there.
Yeah.
Rogue main. You're my rogue mate. my roommate, who's a rogue main, decided that they had some thoughts that they wanted to share.
Okay. I love
You know
thoughts.
I'm not having it right now. I'm not having it.
Like, look, rogue
No,
fans are everywhere.
Going back to my pushback here a little bit.
Uh huh.
Someone who, as a fighter, says all that fancy hand wiggling and hiding and hitting from far off, I am going to dedicate myself to the greatest martial prowess, knowing I can take a hit and hit back, to be dedicating themselves to be the best fighter possible without any of that cheating nonsense.
Is it martial prowess if you get hit?
And take it and not be like, meh.
No, that's toughness. I mean, like, this goes back to me talking to people about when I was in class council, trying to like convince a team that like there's a place for rogue tanking, because the flavor of rogue definitely has within it the idea of like a dashing swordsman, right? Someone like almost like a swashbuckler, someone who will like taunts their way into combat, like deftly dodges out of the way, parries attacks, that kind of stuff. Like, I understand they don't have a bunch of armor, but that was the conceit of like a fencer, you know, that swordsman archetype. And for that reason, I was like, this makes sense. Like, this should be a tank thing. And they're like, nah, the other trees are broken. We're gonna fix that first.
I would absolutely accept that. I would 100% accept that if you had the ability as a swashbuckler to insult someone.
Well, that's what I'm getting to. Like, with the idea of like, not like a swashbuckler is a guy that actually has a buckler, but the dashing swordsman is like they rely on their charisma in some ways to sort of
absolutely
to like get things done.
I would accept that. As someone who likes to talk shit about rogues constantly, I would absolutely accept that if they had the ability to shout an insult at someone and have it do something. Have that be a rogue taunt, or have it be a ranged taunt, or have it be a ranged debuff ability, which actually I think they did in Lord of the Rings Online.
Yeah. Like, so this, again, some of this is from like a D&D perspective too, where like Swashbuckler's been like in and out of that in Pathfinder 2, and
it's been a little inconsistent.
Well, it absolutely it has. I'm just saying, like, the lore and flavor for it is there. I just think that there's a lot of things, like, because I mean, when I did rogue tanking, it's like, it's not like just never getting hit is cool, don't get me wrong, but what do healers do? Like, they're players too. Some of them like those fights, like Patchwork. Like, that's one of the most exhilarating fights for a healer. And if you do the rogue tank strat, I guess they go DPS. Like, they don't get to have fun. And, you know, even though so many priests, I'm sure you'd feel the same way, hate Resuvius because of how mind control works. Like,
hey, so here's timeout really quick here. You're assuming I'm a healing priest.
No, but every priest should learn how to do Resuvius. If you do
I love Resuvius. Resuvius is one of my favorite fights.
Do you love how vanilla mind control works and heartbeat resists?
Yep. Yeah, I do, because it makes you have more priests.
Yeah, no, that's true. But I mean,
and it also makes you reconsider how much resistance reduction, because Turtle has added in some resistance reduction, and how hit is calculated.
Well, I mean, if you're a Shadow Priest, like, what, you need 6? Right? And the guys you're mind controlling anyway are only level 52 max, so you'd only need 6 hit anyway, so it doesn't matter.
You don't need a ton, so you need about 6.
Yeah, so it's like the hit thing isn't like, the resistance thing is weird, but the heartbeat resist is just annoying. And the reason I say that is because, can you point to me in a point in progression where priests needed to tank?
Needed to tank?
Yeah. And so, like, if you're doing progression naturally, this is why I feel like Resuvius is kind of a head-ass fight. You're like, hey, so you've only played priest, you've never done tanking, and you've never had a pet. Guess what this fight is? That sucked for priest.
Okay, so what you're no. So what you're talking about are two completely different things, in my opinion. Need to tank? No, Resuvius is the first point in time that a priest ever needs to tank.
Yeah,
and
you
that's...
can do Baron Geddon, but that's a whole nother story.
But here's the thing: there are so many great opportunities in raids. I'm specifically saying in raids to use mind control to make life easier.
Yeah.
Saying that this is, I think Resuvius is a great fight, in part because it brings more Shadow Priests to the forefront.
Yeah, I like that it gives priests that time to shine. I sympathize with the priests that mostly heal and like healing, and then have to be in a position to play in a completely different way. Now, don't get me wrong, like, I've played Rogue and I've had to play different ways. That's just how it is sometimes, you know, and Nax is a skill check in some regards. But I just think that from my experience and seeing priests progress with me and then have to deal with Resuvius and some of them just melting down, they're like, well, like how do I do this? Like, what are you talking about? And you're like, hit the taunt button. Okay, do you know how line of sight works for tanks? And like, that is a new thing for them to have to figure out during a raid fight.
I get what you're saying on that, and yeah, it really sucks when a priest who has healed their entire career is suddenly shoved into that position. That blows. That is not good. However, this is not a game design failure, in my opinion. This is a community failure. This is we have forced priest in, well, and this is specifically commentary on the vanilla side, so 2005, 2007, we have forced priest into this only our healers box. And suddenly we need to try and make them break out of that box. That is not a game design problem. That is the community at large really having not appreciated priests at all during that time period.
Yeah, I mean, like in Turtle WoW, Shadow Priests have a lot more like raid value and just do better damage now too. So, and they not only do they provide vampiric embrace that gives mana, but they're also doing shadow weaving. So like they just have more value in a raid, whereas before it's like you just wanted one to do shadow weaving and their damage was kind of cheeks. So like that sucks, but I think they're not like a burden as much as they were in the past, or at least they weren't I think in Classic they were perceived as more of a burden than I think they actually are.
Classic, they were perceived as a burden, and to be fair, a lot of their regenerative capabilities weren't realized or appreciated. Like 2 Shadow Priests during what the fucking mold boss. What is he in Nax?
The mole boss?
End of the Plague Wing.
Thaddeus?
What's his name? No.
Lotheb.
Lotheb. 2 Shadow Priests in your tank's group during Lotheb drastically reduces the amount of stress your healers are under.
And I mean, even when I've run Naxxas on this server, because of Goblin Brainwashing device, some of the priests, if we had extra priests, it's like, just put on your shadow gear. I'm just stacking the tank group. Guess what? The healing rotation is now like 3 people long, and you probably won't need to go through it the whole way.
So like I said, I don't want to drone on about this. I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
I don't think what you're talking about is a game design problem. It has been a community problem since the beginning of WoW.
Yeah. I
do want to highlight too, though, Shadow Priests with active mind control make ZG so much more fun.
Oh yeah, Spiderwing's great when you do that.
Also the Bloodlords area.
Yep, you did the it's the Blood Drinkers. Yep.
I can grab a Blood Drinker and tank multiple groups on my own.
Oh yeah, it's good fun because you keep spamming the Blood Drink button, and guess what? You never die. It's
magical.
It's definitely something where it has its moments, but you know, a little bit like rogues, where like they have their moments, but you know, it's very rarely leaned upon in raid. Like there's one time you need mind control, in vanilla, and there's one time you need a rogue in vanilla for raiding, and it's Suppression Room and Vesuvius, you know? Like,
That's a fair comparison.
so in that respect, I do sympathize with some of the lesser utilized DPS. Now, rogues just get utilized more in PvP realms because rogues be kind of busted in PvP, but if you're just a PvE guy like me, rogue can feel bad. Like, just because I can put in the same effort, have like the same level of gearing, and I just don't scale as well, so GG's. But that's okay because I actually like supportive playstyles anyway, so I do IEA. I've even been experimenting with doing Annihilator on Vrograg just to get the armor down more because I can use axes now. So that's been fun, but I still feel like there's stuff missing from Rogue that could be in there. Not even tanking, just more. We all wish for more.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm gonna put this as directly, because honestly, I don't really care too much anymore. I'm gonna put this as directly as I feel about it. I'm still, as a Shadow Priest, pretty pissed off with CC2.
Is it because Vampiric Embrace takes a global cooldown now? Or,
Also,
sorry, or takes a cast
its
time?
efficacy, the mana back got cut in half and never adjusted. I blow through my mana so fast.
I mean, before then, I think it's pretty fair to say it was a little strong. I mean, based on the numbers, I'll put it to you this way. Before class changes, right, when I was playing an Elemental Shaman, if I had a Shadow Priest in my group fighting Patchwork, I needed 0 mana potions. If I didn't, I would need 2 Ts, 2 mana potions to keep casting. That seems a little strong to me. I don't know about you. I think maybe it got nerfed too hard. I don't know. Because I haven't played it. I haven't really felt it. And I don't know what to think about the Vampiric Embrace taking 1.5 seconds to cast. I think PvP is a much bigger deal.
I don't really care about the cast time. The cast time, in my opinion, is not a problem.
Okay.
I don't think the cast time is an issue. It's annoying, but it's not a mechanical hard block. The mana, the mana back getting cut in half is a hard block for me. It is straight up better for me as a priest if I'm going offense to play Smite Spec. Like, the numbers are impossible to argue with. I am going to last just as long in a fight and put out far more damage with Discipline. Discipline has so much better overall use now.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen. I mean, you know my wife Murag. She was on class council for priest, and there was a lot of discussion about some of the limitations they wanted to put on discipline that weren't put in, and a lot of them were upset because I think a lot of the reasons why they are too strong is because they didn't put those limitations in. Like getting what is it called? There's chastise, and then what's the power infusion replacement?
Let me log over to Zaps again so I can actually speak accurately. Give me just a second.
I think it's like either way.
I know what you're talking about. The chastise is a 6-second slap on the ass.
Right, but it gives you some extra damage.
And if it crits, it does a little bit more.
Now, the stuff in Discipline, when the class council designed it, none of it was supposed to work with healing spells. But they let it work with healing spells.
The other thing you're talking about, Power Infusion, got replaced with Enlighten.
Thank you, Enlighten.
Which is a 30-minute buff that 2 priests can put on each other, and they will pump the fuck out of each other's damage. So essentially, it is if 2 priests put it on each other, it is a 20% increase in damage and healing that has, I would say, a 60 to 70% uptime overall during a fight.
Yeah, and again, like I was saying, that was meant to only proc off of damaging holy spells initially. Now you can be a healing discipline priest and get all that power when it wasn't designed to do that. So it made discipline even like they were trying to move away from power infusion priest, and then they just remade it again. It's like, you're so close, but at least holy is a little better, I guess. But yeah, it's tough out there in the streets for the priests, not
now,
in battlegrounds, but in other parts.
Let me say, in regards to mana back for other characters, especially when you stack multiple shadow priests in the same group, that started to get a little fucking ridiculous. And by a little, I mean a lot.
Oh yeah, no, the use case I was talking about was just one shadow priest, by the way.
No, I understand.
But yeah,
what I have seen, I've seen a lot of different use cases in previous history for shadow priests.
Yeah,
I do believe, and I will say, mana back for other characters was a little much. But the reason the mana back was so strong is because the shadow priests themselves needed it, because your shadow abilities are fucking expensive.
Yeah, no, that they absolutely are, and that was
like,
yeah, that it made it because like vanilla shadow priest was as bad as like elemental or as bad as a boomkin, in some cases worse. And like that's not tenable. Like if you're trying to DPS.
So I think what a better solution might have been would be cutting the amount that other characters get.
Yeah, I think that would have been more
Vampire
elegant, yeah. Because, I mean, like, I believe in the vanilla design of mana having to be a resource you need to actively manage. Like, there should be a consequence for a mage who does AoE all the time. You're going to go, Or, like, if you're doing these big, really powerful spells, like now fire mages can weave in Pyroblast pretty easily, that's a very expensive spell. The fact that a shadow priest just makes it so that you can just sit back and be like, nah, dog, I don't even need to evocate. This is great. Like, that kind of feels weird.
No, that I will agree with that. But again, the mana back was never calculated, and this may have been a design mistake on Turtle's part. The mana back was never calculated off of what other characters receive. It's what the shadow priest itself was receiving.
Right, and you need to make that a number that works for the shadow priests. Otherwise, it kind of doesn't make sense because it clearly is for them. And like one thing that maybe you understand the lore of priests a little better, but my understand was that they balance this sense of like the light versus like the darkness or like the void within them, and the light is very giving and very generous. That's why it does this healing thing. But
wait. Do we want to talk about light and shadow lore? Do we want to talk about that? Because I have a whole field.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn in this quest. I just realized I've been stating here chatting with you. I'm like,
All right. So while you do that,
okay,
I'm gonna tell you all about light and shadow in Vanilla WoW.
I'm game.
Because everyone believes that light and shadow is like this belief system, and it's all about, all right, doing good or being bad or being a great person or being vile or all of that. Incorrect.
I mean,
Wrong.
The Scarlet Crusade might, I think, muddied the waters, if I'm being honest.
Oh, it directly disproves all of that.
Yeah.
Light and shadow, the best way I compare it is like a force of nature. And not in like the burning blade sense we were talking about earlier.
Right.
I'm talking like actual forces of nature. So gravity, for example. Light is like gravity. It is something that just exists. It doesn't have feelings. It doesn't have thoughts. It doesn't have emotions. It doesn't have a sense of, oh, well, the light believes this, so it blesses this person. No, incorrect, wrong. It is something that people tap into through their own beliefs, which are completely irrelevant to the actual force of nature itself. So if someone believes that they can channel the light and they're a true believer in the faith and they have all of these doctrines they follow and all of this structure, then they tap into the light through those beliefs and those structures. And if someone is reaching into the void to grasp at this power, certainly sometimes the void looks back. Sometimes there's evil things that exist in the void, but that's not the shadow's fault. The shadow is just, again, kind of like water. It's what the void and all these void creatures exist in. So it's kind of like reaching your hand into a pool of water and trying to pull some things back out. Oh, but some leeches come with you.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of, what I was trying to insinuate with the void before was that the void has this element of madness, and I guess in a sense, sort of I don't know if self-indulgence is a good way of putting it, but the sort of focus on one's own mind and one's own power, because there's like this. I think a lot of the lore supports this sort of. In some ways, it almost feels a little bit like the light and dark side of the Force, how they're ubiquitous, but they're seen different ways. So, like, the reason I even mention it, though, as far as, the Shadow, is that with Shadow Priests doing a Vampiric Embrace, a part of me was kind of surprised that helps people in their party. I thought it would be more of a selfish thing that would only help them. You know what I mean? Like, the Shadow isn't necessarily very giving. So I think, in that respect, it's kind of weird that the Shadow can heal. Like, I guess it makes sense it can in some regards, but you know what I mean? Like, okay, this is Vampiric Embrace. Okay, so you say vampirism in there, so I guess that makes sense. You're drawing the life out of something, but you're not doing a mana drain. So where does the mana come from?
So that I'm not able to really get into.
Right.
I can say that with the original concept of a Shadow Priest and a Void Mage, the concept is with a Shadow Priest, it is still looked at as you are a key support player.
Okay.
A priest is always going to be a key support player.
Yeah.
It's just you making the choice of, do you want to be this disciplined, selfless, believing in yourself and others kind of healer and restorer, or do you want to grasp power and use that darkness to drain the life out of others so the people around you can survive?
Like, I think that's also why I think that's why I don't like how the lore of Shadow Priest fits into their play style, because you have this Vampiric Embrace that helps your group, right? And then you have Shadow Weaving that helps other shadow effects happen, which is again like this buffing, this sort of supportive role. That definitely feels like something that should be on the light side, if anything. But that's the role that Shadow Priests often find themselves in the most. And I'm like, I don't know. I thought you guys would be doing more like direct damage and like debuffing, So that's kind of why I brought up Void Mages, which are a consistent thing that we do see a tiny little bit in vanilla, but we actually see more in TBC. Yeah.
But Void Mages we do see a lot of, which are more of that. I'm not here to be a support role. I am here to be a devastating. I will embrace Shadow to its fullest power and channel that through me. Now that's where we see a lot more of that corruption from the use of Shadow, because light and shadow are two sides of the same coin, whereas the light is a restorative, energizing kind of power. Shadow, on the other side of things, is a power that is entropic. It drains. corrupts, it degrades.
Okay.
And we can see that pretty consistently. As much as I fucking hate the Naru, sorry, I don't mean to swear. As much as I hate the Naru, we do see those energetic and entropic properties with light and shadow being direct, opposing, almost mathematical forces from each other. So there is the difference between how you tap into the shadow, where either it is we're focusing more on the mind or the madness, or mind or the power, because again, void mages and the shadow casters, they're not support players. They don't do that. It's really just about that power. But shadow priests, it's much more about the draining and madness that the shadow has as a property, or set of properties, I should say.
So, like, is that why, in many respects, you see what are considered shadow priests cavorting with, like, elder god things? Because the elder gods, the Cthulian things, live in that void realm, and, like, they just have an influence on those who tap into it? Or do you think the void is naturally maddening?
I think shadow has a lot of natural, innate properties to it. Madness and corruption are natural parts of shadow energy, we'll say, or the shadow.
Yeah.
Just as, like I said, the light has a much more of like an energizing and rejuvenative and reconstructing almost effect. With shadow power in general, we see things living in the void. We see things that, as people like to say, blink back.
Yeah.
Now, one other big thing about shadow users is they are generally very prideful. They are very naturally self-centered, and it kind of takes that kind of personality, that belief system, as we make a callback to why people tap into the light and how they tap into the light. People tap into the shadow because they are prideful. They are self-centered. They use that feeling of, I deserve this. I deserve to control. I deserve to be stronger. That attitude, that mindset, even without the fact that the shadow energy has a maddening effect, you naturally start to believe things. You naturally start to think you're stronger, you're better, you're more powerful.
And for this reason, you should have shadow volley.
I would love to, but that's not the case. I fully believe that the perspective, the belief system that shadow priests need to be shadow priests eventually lead them to either madness or the belief that they can work with or control elder gods or beings or deities in some way without being corrupted or ruined themselves, which is of course a lie. That's simply not true. But because of who they are and why they tap into shadow and why they have these beliefs, they are naturally inclined to almost degrade that direction.
So
we have so few examples of people not going that way.
Where does or perhaps I should, does the existence of Mogud Thorazan, does that mess up the Shadow Priest lore?
No,
because
why would
she
it?
seems to have, well, like, does a priest have a curse they do outside of troll priests doing Hex of Weakness?
I would describe Undead Priest Devouring Plague as something very similar.
Yeah, I guess it's the concept of, you know, like a dot versus a, you know, magical effect, or, you know, that kind of stuff. I guess it is sort of semantics. I'm just surprised that they don't have curse effects, like, more, because it fits with them.
Again, we're talking about game mechanics at this point, but also I will actually make a call back to when we were talking about Blademasters, the example of Grom Hellscream. there's only ever been and will ever be one Grom Hellscream. No
Yeah.
matter how many people try, no matter who tries to do what, there will only ever be one Grom Hellscream. So there will only ever be one Empress Modgood. Only one, ever.
I mean,
She
left her mark.
was-
That's certainly true.
She was a power that we will never see again. Even with, for example, the Night Elf Priestess that was taken control of by Cthulhu down in Silithus and has that whole quest series associated with her. That's a drop in the bucket compared to what we see with Modgood.
So I mean, she
Modgood
definitely
is
seems like on the
fine.
prideful side rather than the mad side. She certainly had plans. She had ideas. She had motivations. And like rather than go down with the, she's like, nah, I'm taking you with me. Like that's a very prideful move.
It's a very self-centered
Yeah.
act.
So I
Instead of
think
trying
that
to
bears out
protect your
true.
troops or anything, you helped kill them.
Yeah. Did you see the Twitter leak? Not leak, it's a teaser. Where they
I haven't used Twitter for about a year, so no.
No. They showed off a picture of I'm gonna see if I can find it on Twitter so I can
Is this from Retail or Turtle or what are you talking about?
this is from Turtle. And
Okay.
they showed off a mob from Grimbatol.
I think you asked me about this already.
Yeah, and I think it was Moriana who answered about it. If you remember, like what kind of creature is this? I thought it was like a dwarven shade or something.
Mm-hmm.
And there's like a specific type of creature that I guess happened in Grimbatol because of what Mogud did. I can't remember what their name is now. I did this 2 weeks ago for the news too. I hate when I do this. I'm trying to see.
I think you're right with the term shade.
Yeah, until I was told otherwise.
Oh, well, shit.
Well, exactly. That's what I'm like, oh, this looks like a shade thing. And then, so I was like, oh, no, like it's this type of creature. I guess they had some presence later in retail. Let's see if, I think I can show this off. All right.
So I'll be honest, if it was after Cataclysm, I'm generally not going to have a good knowledge base for it.
Yeah. Fair enough. Hold on. This is all right. I'm showing it off on stream right now. This is the picture. Oh, I'm remembering their name now, because it's right on their tag. They're
Skarden?
Skarden. Now I looked that up in the WoW wiki. You see, it has feet. That's how you can tell it's not a shade, obviously.
Oh yeah, what is this?
So-
I haven't seen this. This is the first time I'm seeing this.
Skarden. I did have it up. So, according, Skarden refers to. I'm gonna actually do it so people can read it. Refers to two different races of earthen or dwarves created by Zalathath. The first are reptilian creatures who inhabited the depths of Grimbatol, descended from dark iron dwarves who hid in the city after the War of the Three Hammers and were transformed by Mogud Thorazan's magic. I didn't know this was a thing.
The Path of Rexxar.
Why are they part reptilian? I don't know. I am very curious. That's more the reason I was asking you, because I'm like, I don't know anything about Skarden, and I think I saw very old, like, RPG Warcraft rulebook stuff on them. So I'm like, oh, like maybe they're a thing that's existed for a while.
Okay,
and-
so what I'm seeing here is they were something that the retail dev team was brewing for Cataclysm, but ended up getting pulled out at the last minute and replaced by just trogs. Now there were still some references to that, some items, Skarden's Grace and Cursed Skarden Vest. But overall, they were never used.
Okay. I just don't know what would make them reptilian. I just keep zeroing in on it. I'm like, did like they mix with like the dragons, or is there like some sort of like weird Trog people, or you know what I mean? I kept looking. I'm like, what is this?
Let me read this article here real quick.
Yeah. And obviously, it says there's two types, right? There's one that's from later lore. And answering D. Diafol, is Turtle WoW more fun than Blizzard's Classic? I've never played WoW before. Do you have any suggestions? I would say you don't lose anything by trying. If you like it, play it. If you don't. I know that's a bit reductive and a bit like simplistic, but I think the things on Turtle WoW appeal to different players. In general, it's more casual, relaxed, more beginner friendly, and more RP friendly, at least certainly on Nordanaar. And because the server's been around for so long, there's a much richer sense of community. Specifically when comparing it to retail or classic, the team has a prurient interest in clamping down on RMT and botting, whereas Blizzard profits off of it, so they have no motivation to stop it. So if that's something that really gets a bee in your bonnet, then Turtle WoW is definitely, any private server is better than retail for that purpose, I would assume. But anyone who's following along on my quest to get the Onyxia attunement done, now I'm on the step where I need to go talk to Ember Strife. Pretty sure. I don't think I have to kill Ember Strife. I think I just have to talk, right? Yeah.
You don't. The Ember Strife kill is for the Uber's key.
Ah, okay, great. I remember having to do both, and I couldn't remember which one was which.
Yeah. So reading the background information on Skarden, it was a half-baked idea that got scrapped for Cataclysm. There really isn't any kind of backing for why this exists, why they exist. There's none. There is the fact that, okay, some Dark Irons, after the War of the Three Hammers, were chased into the bowels of Grim Batol. And then when Modgood unleashed all unholy shadowy hell, these people, these dwarves, hid in like the darkest recesses of Grim Batol and were reshaped or something in some way, or changed because of all the bad shit there.
Yeah. I mean, fair enough. We don't know what's going on in there, so I mean, all right.
It is so that I'm just going to indicate one thing with this then. It is going to be entirely on the Turtle team to justify why these creatures exist. Because as it stands with the original lore for them, there is no justification.
Yes, they will have to establish what the justification is. I mean, like, if this was like 2 or 3 years ago on Turtle WoW, I'd be like, they found a model and they're using the model. That looked like a custom model they made. So I'm like, okay, so they clearly have an idea of what they're doing. We don't have any clues, so
those are most likely not custom models.
You think that the one I showed on stream, you think that wasn't a custom model?
There's always the chance.
No disrespect to the art team, but that didn't look like it had the level of super polish that you'd see for like a Kata mob or something, you know? So
they were not fully developed for Kata.
Right.
They had some models ready to go. They had the male Skarden models ready to go, and some of them were in the game files but never used.
I mean, what we saw was a male Skarden, I think. Well, it has a beard, so I'm assuming, but yeah.
Well, I will also say the description for these, and this might be fudging things a little bit, the description says you cannot tell between male and females.
That's the way dwarves are supposed to be, where I'm from.
I don't know. I will only say from the way I'm reading this, I don't like what's going on.
I don't think anyone liked what's going on in Grimbatul.
I mean,
in both a
okay.
metaphorical and a literal sense.
I can't talk to you anymore.
No. Just imagine, think of poor Murag. She has to deal with this all the time.
I was about to say, how does Murag handle you?
I don't know, but I think she keeps his Xanax pretty well hidden.
No, I'm not going to say that. I had a thought. I can't say that. No.
No, she's just desensitized to it, I think. She's got to be at this point.
Oh, boy.
Oh,
okay. Back to the Blademaster stuff real quick, though.
Yep.
I think there is definitely things to add to it still, because I want to put more focus on the flavor and the preparation side of things, of always, having to take extra care with what you're doing and how you're doing it. I'm not sure how to add it in, though. And I am going to take a look at the stat idea you had.
Yeah, I'm not trying to make it like needlessly complex, but this concept of a Blademaster mastering their skill and being so quick, I am agility kind of being a stand-in in some cases for quickness.
And they should have a very natural high dodge as well.
Of course. So like, to me, I'm like, well, what if there was some restriction? I don't even remember what I said. I think I might have said like your strength can't exceed your agility, something like that.
Yeah, that's what he said.
Yeah, I think it's doable with gear. It would make a fun mini game. Every time you get new gear, you're like, I want that, but I can't wear it yet, but I want it.
It also feeds into how I play Warrior a little bit, where I will say I am not the best Warrior player by any stretch of the imagination. But I put the time in beforehand to do the math. I have always focused on an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure as a player.
But I mean,
and that's always done me really well as a warrior.
For the first, like roughly the first 30 or 40 levels, you're just going, like, has strength, good. That's pretty much all you do. Like, it's the same thing for rogues, same thing for hunter. Like, you see stat, good. Like, and you throw that in there because you don't have like a spell damage thing to ever look at, and you don't have, you could maybe like spirit if you're leveling solo, but other than that, like, you just throw strength in there. I think.
Well, warrior
you want
players
stamina,
in general,
but yeah,
they keep their spirit set handy.
Spirit's awesome.
It is, and this has been something going back to like 2004. Warriors, high level, will keep get like a set of spirit gear on them at all times and hot switch into it between fights to rapidly heal.
Oh yeah. It's a fun thing. Like, I've seen that video that gets passed around showing like a troll warrior walking into ZG wearing all the spirit gear, and someone's like, "What are you doing? Where's your DPS gear?" And he's like, "Oh, sorry, I was just in a fight." And like someone who, like, one of the healers was watching, and they're like, "He's regenerating 500 HP per tick. Like, I think it's okay."
Oh, it's so dumb. It's so dumb. I love it. And then having the flask set.
I'm glad that's. it was so dumb. Like,
it's so stupid.
No designer said, you know what? Let's just leave the spell scaling on this 1-to-1 for healing gear, because that's what we want. No, that was like, no one's gonna use this, or like if they do, it'll be like a cute little thing they can use for a little bit, and then they'll get other trinkets they want. It's a cute thing to have. It's useful for warriors, absolutely, but the 1-to-1 healing coefficient was wild.
And the fact that right before a big boss pull, a warrior would hot switch into their healing set, hit their flask, switch into their normal gear, and switch the flask out, and again, keep the flask buff.
Interesting, because most trinkets don't do that, but warriors is special.
Warriors are special.
I mean, I'm also aware of the history. Okay, I know what the early meta was about warrior, and it wasn't pretty, and that they were a joke. No one thought they could really do damage, and that they were just there as glorified, pick up tanks if you need one. It wasn't till later that the real, true, raw power of a warrior was actually unlocked, So, I think a lot of people lose that in the sauce. They're like, oh, warriors have always been strong. I'm like, yeah, but the meta had to figure that out, honestly. And to a certain extent, they do have to work hard to get the gear they do, and the skill ceiling for being a really good warrior is pretty high. I will say that. Whereas,
It's
like,
tough.
like you're fighting some of the simple bosses for casters. It's like you're standing and pressing like 3 buttons. Like that's it's not
There's
really
a
a high skill
reason-
ceiling.
There's a reason I have made fun of frost mages pretty much my entire life.
Frost mages have a little bit more depth now, which is nice.
Now they do.
Now they get to try to kill themselves, figuring out if a boss is immune to Frost Nova. So it's like, they keep jumping into melee. They're like, I want free icicles. And you see them die, and you're like, what are you doing in melee? They're like, I had a plan.
I had a plan. That's the story of a mage. I had a plan.
Yeah. I mean, mages dying on AoE packs, that's a story as old as time itself. That always happens. That's normal. But now mages just like throwing themselves at bosses, they have no clue if something has cleave or not. They do not have the HP or armor to deal with that cleave, and then they die.
All right, you have, as a gentleman would, put up with my stupid bullshit idea.
Nah.
And,
No.
and you have been lovely about it.
I'm a workshopper. I love doing workshopping.
I wanna hone in this idea, pun intended.
Okay.
Yeah. And then once I've spent like a good chunk of time on that, I do want to get like a dwarven rifleman worked out.
Oh, Dan, you heard my dumb idea, right?
I might have, and I might have scrubbed it from my brain.
You probably should have. Cinematic mode.
Oh yeah, no, that's a good idea. A lot of games have done that. And saying you can only open up your interface in cities.
Oh, it's so problematic, dude. There's so many problems that could happen.
So there is rather, although I don't really play it anymore. There's this wonderful game I played for a long time called Hunt Showdown. I don't know if anyone's ever played it before. Hunt Showdown's wonderful. I love Hunt, and it's this PvEVP, just 1900s Bayou shootout of a game.
Okay.
There was a thing for a long time in it that people just turned off their interface entirely, and you had to count your bullets, and you had to always aim down sights, and you had to play a lot more slower and deliberately because it was just audio cues and that's it.
Yeah. That, I mean, that gets into an aspect where it's like, at least with shooters, it gets more into like the simulation kind of genre. Mm-hmm. So like, I don't think a lot in WoW supports simulation, but because it's designed to be third person the whole time, where shooters can easily be first person, but that sounds hella fun, and it does up the skill needed to do it. And
it is incredibly stressful.
Like, I was workshopping this idea with Murag, and I'm like, there are so many problems with doing a cinematic mode level because you don't know what your health is. You don't know what the enemy's health is.
Nope.
You don't know how hard they're hitting you. You don't know if they're nearly dead. Like, you don't have anything to go off of. Like that alone, and only being able to open bags when you're in a town, like, you just find out you can't loot because the sparklies don't go away. Like, that's...
Now, I think there are some things that on your interface you you should keep, because you do, like, you can tell if you take an axe to the leg. You're not oblivious to that level of pain. So I think there should be some ways to say, okay, you are lightly injured. All right,
So,
you're seriously injured.
I have something for that. I'm not even joking either. I think I even have it. I have it installed, but it's not operating right now. It's called Role Playing Helper. It's a add-on that's been making its rounds for forever on Turtle WoW. It's a set of Lua conditionals that will emote or say things when certain conditions are met, and just randomly do certain things. So most people will use this when they're like doing some kind of combat RP thing, and it will be like Rexxanna like whirls her blades around and like gets a and to like let you know that she did a critical hit, or Rexxanna winces in pain at the blow she received like when she gets a critical hit, or like there's tons of stuff you can program into it. So the one thing I want to have up for UI, because I want to be able to communicate with people, is just like say chat and emotes. So I could use Role-Playing Helper to let me know that like I just got crit 3 times in a row, or like I've been missing a bunch. Like you can kind of hear it too, but that's the one I'm thinking of, where there's actually conditionals in there for like emotes when you're under 30% health. So I could have that, but I'd have to be watching for it.
Let me roll another idea. Hold on a second.
Okay. Also, I'm gonna be making my way over to... Say, I need to kill a blue dragon, a red dragon.
That's always fun. These are fun quests.
A green
These
dragon?
are totally fun quests. They're very fun quests.
Oh no, I have to kill a time
Vrograg
dragon.
and her portals.
Hey, you know what? I don't need them. I want them.
Yes, you do.
But I don't need them.
You want them so bad.
I think I'm gonna get the wetlands one out of the way first.
I would say, in addition to saying emotes of some kind, especially if they're like chat bubbles over people's heads, having certain aura effects would also, I think, hold to the spirit of the challenge, while also giving you information that you, as the person in your body, would be getting. So let's say you are severely poisoned. You have a serious poison debuff on you. Your screen aura would be flashing green in some way. Let's say you've taken a moderate amount of damage. Your screen aura would have a light red flash. You take a serious amount of damage.
Oh,
your
yeah.
screen would be flashing like deep red.
Oh, yeah, I could set that up too. I mean, yeah, there's a couple things I could set up. The key is to not know the name of mobs, not see their health or resources, not see my health and resources. That's the key, right?
Yeah.
And also having to actually read quest and not use PF quest. That one low-key gonna be the toughest, because I'm like reading, like I'll read the quest, I'll go like, okay, I gotta go to the northwest, and then I have to pick up something, and I'll go there, I'm like, am I picking up from a guy, or is it like an item, or is it in a chat? Like I can see that immediately just being absolutely, just drives me insane.
So I'm gonna leave you with this little fun tidbit.
All right.
Here. You know my Shadow Priest / Discipline Priest I was just on with you.
Yep.
And you know my Goblin Warrior, right?
Yes. I don't remember their name, but I know you have a Goblin Warrior.
It's Danonation.
Okay.
I leveled both of them on Turtle from 1 to 60 without a quest add-on.
What? How's that
generally
even possible?
Because I have this shit memorized.
Well, all right. But then how do you memorize the turtle custom quests? Checkmate.
I run into them, but in general, they were leveled when there weren't a ton of those.
Well, yeah. Also, you'll immediately know when it's a custom quest. You're like, I don't recognize that one. Not gonna do it. I don't know what happens.
Well, I still do them.
Yeah.
But it's not like like I can just read the quest text then.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I have a photographic memory for vanilla and classic.
That's a pretty good skill.
You can ask me
do
about
not.
any instance or quest or raid, and I will generally know what you are asking about.
Okay, I have a question.
Go for it. Hit me.
Which red dragon do I have to kill for the red dragon skull? Do I have to kill one like all the way back or one that's like right up front?
So that's not the one all the way back. It's the one that patrols between the second and third gates
Okay.
as you're going up towards Grimbatal.
Okay. I knew it was one of those. I'm like,
Yeah. He's a little annoying to get to, but if you hold to the right-hand side of that canyon, which is going to be the north side as you are entering it, so the right-hand side, you can pass by most of those mobs at 59 to 60.
Okay. Yeah. I'm literally going to go there and park my character because I could not solo it, and I'll have to be wrapping up soon anyway because Marag's going to be getting home. So I was like, hey, Kalzi, what's Kalzi up to? Imagine?
Yeah, no, it's dinner time here.
Yeah.
Are you telling me it's dinner time? No, actually no. Because I'm not talking about that. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and talk to my roommate about a thing I'm told I'm not allowed to talk about.
Good.
Yep, fantastic. Yay.
All right, Dan. Well, thanks for coming by, workshopping the Blademaster idea. I think it's got
Absolutely.
legs. I think it's got legs. Thanks for the otherwise lore chat. I love that stuff.
I do too. I always do. Even if I'm complaining, I always do.
Yeah, of course. It's part of the game.
All right,
Is
have a good night,
complaining.
buddy.
See ya, man.
Get some dinner in you soon here.
All right, bye. Okay, chat. It's just us. Okay. I'm sorry. I was talking to Dan. I still care about you guys. But Dan really wanted some help workshopping that idea. Because he's really liked the idea of the Path of Rexxar challenge. So, you know. And I'm a hard guy to get a hold of sometimes. But now I'm all yours. But you know what I'm doing. I'm going to Wetlands. Let's see. I'm going to go back. 8. Sorry, Gildark. This might be... I don't know how old this message was. Gildark says, AV is a mess on Turtle WoW. Devs buffed Horde way too much, in my opinion, and shamans are busted. Okay. Is that true? How did they buff them? Did they stop the Backdoors Alliance would use? Because I remember that was the thing. That was really annoying. Did they get rid of those sentry guys that rip you apart when you're running down as Horde? Those things are annoying. If they got rid of those, that would be a pretty big buff. But I've done AV like maybe a dozen times in my life. I did it to know what it was all about and then just go, okay, I think I'm good here. And also of Death, very excited that your mage is 59. Hope you've enjoyed Mage. I really like Mage. I've played it a lot, but it's fun to level. I know it really well, so it's kind of like a comfort food for me when I'm leveling it. I actually have another mage. I've never finished leveling her, but it's a Dwarven mage. I just want to check out what Dwarven mages were all about, because I'm like, oh, cool. What's the lore about this? But then I realized I was playing Alliance, and I felt gross. But it was a dwarf, so it wasn't that bad. Pretty sure this is the area I need to go to. Well, like I said, I'm gonna park myself in front of those red dragons and then hope I can get a dragon kill party later. don't think I could kill it. Even with cooldowns, I think it would wreck me. I'm trying to remember. I'm almost positive it would wreck me. There's Crimson Whelps. There's a Tauren Shaman leveling in wetlands? Why? Is there a quest that brings you over here? I don't think there is. There's the gate. Does your map quest show unexplored areas? Can that be used for cartographer? Banana, like what I do here is PFUI, you can just do this. And these little white dots are where you need to go to roughly to explore the area. And that's all you do to explore the zone. It's just PFUI. I don't think I have any additional things on top of that. I could probably take out the 58, but the ones that I need to kill are like they're big flappy boys. They're the real deal. Yeah, that one right there. That's the one I think I need. Extras, let's check. Oh my goodness. No. Wait, hold on. Wait a second. Am I going crazy? Blue Dragonflight Scryer. Okay, Chronalis is in Tenaris, and Somnus is that's in Swamp of Sorrows. Isn't there one that's from the Red Dragonflight? Hold on, am I tripping now? What the heck? Okay, so Test of Skulls. Why do I not have this quest? Oh. You have to do the first... Alright, hold on. I have to do these 3 first, and then I get the... Any Alliance player, this is so annoying. Okay, well. I do need to kill that dragon at some point. Evidently, I forgot the order. Now I'm all the way here. Where's my closest flight point? I guess I go back up and fly down to Swamp of Sorrows. Boy, that's annoying. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I think you're Gigaputty, aren't you? Yeah. Also, thank you to Ordinary House and G for the follow on Twitch. Appreciate that. I wish I remembered that. Because I don't have a Hearthstone. Oh, I do have this, but that's not going to get me any closer to any particular one. Yeah, so I guess I fly. No, it's okay, Gigaputty, because I mean, even if I went back to the guild base, right, I'd still have to run to a flight point or go somewhere. So I could still fly from here to Stonard. From Stonard, at least, I can get close to kill Somnus or whatever that one's name is. And then, you know, I guess it's that's the only one that's in Eastern Kingdoms. The other two are in Kalimdor. So I'll kill that one, get back to Kalimdor, and then kill those two. Yeah, you know, having a mage does make this a lot easier. I did this on Shabiji, I think, and it was just so much better. It was so much better. Oh, hey, thanks, Veronia. What did I see here? Oh yeah, I saw you reacted to one of my things I put in the notes in the Discord. I'm almost there. If anyone who's just joining now, my plan is to ding 60 by finishing up my Oni attunement. Yeah, I've actually, if I'm being honest, Veronia, I know about a third of the toolkit. Well, maybe a half. I maybe know half the toolkit. I do like it. It's fun. This has been really good for me to learn how to play a pet class. That's been a very good lesson for me to learn. Survival's fun. I've had a lot of good time doing it. I imagine being a more traditional hunter with like a ranged weapon probably has some perks. I don't know what they are, but I know they're perks. Yeah, Feroni, it made my eyes leak too. Hope you've been doing well though. We had Dan on for a little bit. He has a leveling challenge that he's thinking about doing or enacting somehow. A Blademaster challenge. And I threw a bunch of really bad ideas at him. That's how you workshop. Even if your idea isn't that good when you're workshopping, it helps because it makes the person explain their idea more clearly. That's the real secret of workshopping. Shoutouts to Rabatugzug, who fell to a Zanzil zombie in the ruins of Abaraz at level 41. RIP. Oh, geez, I'm not actually going to where the flight point is. Yeah, so I'm gonna get on a flight point, I think, to Gromgal, and then probably gonna sign off. Yeah. I started at like 3:30ish, 6:30ish now, so a good solid 3 hours. Also, if anyone else missed it, I showed off a couple fun things from. I did my Molten Core attunement. I got that done. I got into a Molten Core this weekend and got some tier 1 and some boots. I can't wear them yet till I'm level 60, but at least I'll have something to wear when I get level 60. I got my Tome of Tranquilizing Shot, which is an important thing for hunters. However, you can't use Tranquilizing Shot with thrown weapons, so guess I gotta figure out something with that. I don't know if post level 60, if I want to, because I'd like to try raiding with Rexxanna. I don't know if I want to keep all the strictures I've had in the past on. Because I guess if I'm going to do Tranquilizing Shot, I kind of need to not have a thrown weapon. Well, we'll see. Also, once I get in the flight point, I'll show a couple. There are some people that are probably still watched from the beginning of the stream, but I have a couple things I can show off. that you might have missed. Where is it? Where's this? Top screen. This is a screenshot from when I first made Rexxanna. The date of it is April 16th of this year. This is what she looked like before I had... No, I had just selected Hunter. That's all I had done so far. Pretty much roughly what I still have. This was me accepting my... I had done the beginning of the Onyxia attunement, so I got the Ren kill. Talked to the people. Now this is me talking to Ren for the follow-up. And this was Rexxanna's first steps into Molten Core after getting attuned on like the same day. And I showed off, where is it? It's right about, as a hunter, I got my first I killed the raid thing done. If you're watching, we're fighting a Fire Lord, and I am asked to go pull a Core Hound, which I can do, right? I go to pull that one. I tell Rexxanna to fight the other one. She decides to go behind the Core Hound, and then the Garads notice her because she's so low level. And that's how I wipe the raid. Fun times. Yeah. Oh yeah. And no one was like mad at me or anything, but I was just like, I'm sorry. Like Rexxanna, sorry, Misha was like level 56. So she wasn't long for she didn't belong there. I think Rexxanna was level 57, you know. So but yeah, we're I guess all I got left is for the flight, so I'll sign off here. Mandalor's being a butthead, and I want to do a couple small errands before Murad gets home, so I'll take care of that. So I'll sign off here. I promise I will do more of the Onyxia attunement, but I will hold off because I can turn off experience points at any time. And according to this, I have 62% of the level remaining. So I'll try to get it so that just when I'm about to ding, I will ding, and I'll make sure it's streamed when Rexxanna gets level 60. I'll try to step that up. So I might do other things, but the very good chance I'll just be level capped until then. So hope to see you then. So keep an eye out for it. It likely will be next stream that I do if I have a chance. Maybe not. We'll see. But all right. I'll be working on the news tomorrow. I'll have the radio news probably uploaded tomorrow by Dan, who just heard on the show. That's most of what I got for this week. So until next time, thank you for anyone who dropped by, came to hang out. Remember to take care of yourself, take care of each other. Keep in mind when you're playing games, you should always be trying to have fun, because that's the point of games. And as always, remember, the deadliest weapon is knowledge. Bye, guys.